Welcome everybody to the Pub Chat live show. Good to see you all. Hope you're well. So we're back. How do you feel about it, guys? Welcome.
Yeah, I feel okay.
Feel excited, Arian. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we've already got some people tuning in. Good to see you all. Yeah, we decided to come back and just cause chaos on YouTube again. That's what we do well. So it's good to have my friends Ian Diaz and Swappers back. So good to see you guys.
Swapper's right is that he doesn't really want to show himself, but yet he's got a picture of himself
on the wondering which one avatar. He is.
He's the one on the right.
I'll let you guess.
Swappers is like, I can be anyone you want me to be.
Yeah. Oh, kinky.
Yep.
So we're back. We've got some interesting articles to talk about tonight. So we've got plenty of people turning up. It's good to see
it's good.
All these nice people. But before we get started, what I want to do is just promote a website called Mixed Teas, and that's my friends Brian and Shane do this, and I'll show you it now. But if I just share the screen, everybody. So if you're into your merchandise like I am, and you're into your t-shirts and stuff, go to Mixed Teas. Okay, I'll put a link in the comment section after the show. This is effectively what Brian and Shane do as a business. They've got various brands on here. Salty Nerd Podcast. I think they've got Nerdrotic as well. They've got various different IPs here. You might see a Freaky Naughty shirt, which I've got. Yay! So you've got that. You've got Jaws t-shirts. You've got Save the Gate, Stargate t-shirts. It goes on and on and on. So there's loads of stuff here for everybody to check out. So make sure you have a look and see if there's something there you like, which I'm sure there will be. So yeah, check out Mixed Teas, everybody. So with that said, the first discussion of the day, I'm gonna actually ask you guys what you think about the Odyssey. Okay,
I'm the only one that's seen it.
Yeah,
you're the only one that's seen it.
Ian's the only one that can really comment on this. The only Odyssey I care about is the animated one from 1985.
Ulysses. Yeah. Superb, isn't it? Superb.
Amazing. What do you got to say on this current Odyssey then, Ian, that you haven't already said? At least you haven't got to see it 5 times, which is good.
Thank God. Well, I just reiterate what I said on other live streams. It's not a very good film. It's okay. It's not great, and it's not awful. I'd never see it again though, because it's far too long. The mistake that Chris Nolan made was he didn't make it into a fantasy film. He just made it into a film that was grounded, that he tried to make everything realistic. How could you make everything realistic when it's a fantasy story? You got monsters with one eye, you got other monsters and gods and stuff. And he didn't show any of that. Plus, after listening to Gary Beekler talking about Gary and Drinker talking about the message that's in there. Obviously, I didn't know the story of the Odyssey, and I was just taking what I got from the movie. After listening to them, it's woke and it's woke as hell, isn't it? The whole thing's woke as hell. So, I mean, I thought it was okay, but it's not great. Put it that way. He didn't do anything that wanted me to see it again. We're talking about a story that's linked with, when you go back a long way, starting from Jason of the Argonauts to Sinbad, those kind of monsters. But he didn't have any monsters. He only had one monster in it. Didn't have any gods Cyclops in it. Yeah,
this is what I want. This is what I want from a fantasy movie like the Odyssey, or there's old old Jason and the Argonauts, etc., and the Harryhausen special effects movies. This is what I want from it: is complete escapism to go to, you know, ancient version of Earth with all these incredible mythical creatures that we never normally see, you know, animated with amazing special effects. That's what I'm turning up for. Not like being grounded like he did with Batman and turning Gotham City into Chicago. You know, I don't care about, I don't give a damn about that. Batman should be stylized, gothic. Batman himself should be this kind of mythical, kind of spooky character. Tim Burton got it pretty much right with that, even as rudimentary as it was at the time. You could do some incredible things with that today. And all Nolan wants to do, it's like he's scared of being, you know, fantastical and imaginative and stylized in any way. He has to just make everything boring and every day. Unfortunately, you know, he has got a certain talent with doing certain things a certain way, but he's not suited to this kind of story, obviously, at all. And I've never been really attracted to his style of directing and the way he directs his editors as well, because I always feel like every movie I ever watch that he's done feels like one giant flashback sequence, because he kind of cuts a scene off early before it gets a chance to rest and sort of sit there for a few seconds and lets you ruminate on what just happened. He cuts it, goes straight to the next scene, and you've got the audio from the previous scene still playing over the next scene. And this is why the whole thing always feels like a giant flashback to me, and it just bugs me and irritates me. He did this with the Batman movies. That's where I first noticed it.
He did, yeah.
I bet he does it with everything. So, and he did it with what was it, the dream sequence movie where everyone was in a dream within a dream within a dream.
I know. I know. Inception.
Yeah. And I just thought, at that point, right, if you're going to do this with everything, I'm switching out. There's no way. It's like, I can't watch Tarantino movies, because, you know, you might get some great action sequences and stylish direction in there, and then everything stops and everyone sits down and talks for half an hour. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
So, you know, you're not gonna keep with the style and the movie and the flow of a movie that you've set out to do, and you change it up halfway through, or you want it to be, you want to put your own personal stamp on it and turn it into something it isn't, then, you know, I'm out, I'm done, and I'm just going to ignore everything you do in the future unless everyone raves about it.
Well, I think for me, guys, I think Tenet, I was like, what the hell's going on here? And then I watched Oppenheimer, and I thought Oppenheimer is flashy, but then I thought it's a one and done for me. I'm never going to watch it again. And I think with Nolan and the Batman trilogy, what I didn't like about it as well is the fact that with Dark Knight Rises, how he had Batman just giving up and walking away. Batman, Bruce Wayne, would never ever do that. You know, it's his life's mission. You know, so I was like, what's going on here? But I've heard things about the Odyssey. I will check it out. I just think, I don't know. I mean, Ian, you've seen it, and you're saying, I mean, about the woke element of it. Do you think he's doing this because he needs to do that to win certain awards at the Oscars now? That you have to effectively tick certain boxes for them to even give you the awards now. Do you think it's part of that?
Well, after being on a few live streams, I think Price of Reason pointed out it could be his wife, because his wife is very pro women and stuff, so he could have put that stuff in because of his wife. Plus they're in the Hollywood system as well, so you know, if you go against the Hollywood system, then you're going against your living, aren't you? You know, so but he's getting a huge paycheck for this film. I think he's getting 20% of the take-ins and something else, whatever. But the worst thing about this is that, you know, it's a success seeing it in IMAX, but so only the IMAX things are sold out and it's made a lot of money, but the ordinary screenings are not doing very well. So, but the thing is, if it becomes a huge success, then that's Hollywood's excuse to say, oh yes, woke, if you go woke, you go broke. That's not true, because this film made a lot of money. So that's what I think they're going to be jumping on if this film's a bigger success than it is now, if you know what I mean. But I want them to try it, you know. I want them to keep making woke things, and then it fails, because it is obviously going to fail. This is Chris Nolan, though. A lot of people have respect for him, but I don't have any respect for him anymore, because, as Swapper says, he turned this into a grounded thing. We never saw any gods. We only saw one Cyclops and nothing else, really. And
But-
what the hell? Why did this film start off with a black guy with dreads doing some poetry, and they're meant to be Greeks? I'm like, why is this guy come from? What the hell's going on?
I think without me even seeing it, you're convincing me now that I don't want to see it. It's a sign of the times, though, isn't it? I mean, again,
yes.
How many times have we talked about similar things like this for movies? And it puts me off going to the cinema these days. It really does.
I think Hollywood is on
a.
I think Hollywood's on a mission to actually destroy everything that's good, because they don't want the world to be like that. Christianity, heroes, what's that crap one that came out with Hugh Jackman as Robin Hood? They just pissed all over that character. Robin Hood's meant to be standing for good, for taking the money from the rich and giving it to the poor and all that. And they turned him into a murderer or something like that in that film. And it's the same thing with this one, The Odyssey. There's meant to be sections that the main character is meant to be fighting for truth and all that stuff. Yet all the women berate him in this film. All them, they've turned his heroic thing into a what do you call it when you're depressed and your therapy? They turn it into therapy now. They've turned the whole idea of this character that he's sorry that he killed those people by hiding in a horse and killing all those people, and that's why Zambuga, as Swappers says, turns up as a ghost all the time. Do you know what I mean? It's just like therapy, isn't it? Instead of being heroic and taking back his land, as in the according to, because I've never read it, according to the original Odyssey, they've turned him into some sap of a man that wants therapy, and that's what Hollywood's doing.
I mean, again, it goes back to what we've said so many times when us three have met up on here and on other shows. It's getting rid of what they see as toxic masculinity, isn't it? The hero, that's a big problem. As Dutch Butters said, good to see you tonight, my friend. Watch the Harryhausen version. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Far more enjoyable. Yeah, I watched Troy from 2003. Quite happily. It's it's just extraordinary, and it really is. So I mean, again, it's doing well at the moment, but do you think that's going to drop off? Do you think when word of mouth spreads that it's not
not to be mean,
or is it just Nolan fans? Yeah,
I really hope it does drop off. Tell you the truth, because it's an abomination what they do to our films. Okay, they're just taking what was established before, and they just like putting the message all the way through it and get rid of masculinity and all that stuff. That's what they're doing, and now they're doing it subtly. Well, they think it's subtle in the Odyssey, but it isn't really. So that's what they're doing, and I just hope this thing will stop. So we can get some good films.
If anyone says that this film's successful, therefore the term "get woke, go broke" doesn't apply, and it's always been wrong, then you're admitting that the film's woke.
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, exactly. So, as I said, right, it's annoying. It really is annoying. I didn't really want to go and see this film. My niece wanted to go and see it, so I went with my niece, and I was so annoyed because, I can't say no to my niece. I went to see it, and it wasn't too bad, but it wasn't great either. And I felt I'd wasted 3 hours of my time in the cinema when it could have been so much better.
A problem.
It just makes you wonder how much greater it would have been if all this agenda wasn't pumped in there. If it was allowed to be the film that it should have been, then it could have been absolutely incredible. And unfortunately, Nolan has bowed to his DEI overlords in the evil statue at Bohemian Grove, and just said, therefore I shall make the propaganda movie that you wish for, and I shall disassemble these ancient aspirational Greek heroes and destroy these ancient myths that have inspired people for centuries. That's basically what he's done with this movie, or tried to do with this movie anyway. And unfortunately, there's a lot of normies out there that can't see it. Luckily, there's more and more people that are waking up to it and are staying away from movies because of this stuff, and they know what to look for before they watch it. But like Toy Story 5 or whatever the number they're up to now is, that people are just, you know, falling into the movies going, oh, Toy Story, I like Toy Story, and they're coming out thinking like, yeah, that was the Toy Story film, and they don't see all the crap. And it's the same with this. They're just sort of going in, seeing the, you know, Nolan's direction and the special effects and whatever else there is, and the cinematic spectacle, and not sort of cross-referencing the fact that all this DEI stuff going on, or they're completely oblivious to DEI anyway, and they just came out of it and they switched their brain back onto normal mode again, and they go about their business going, oh, that was the film, I watched the film, yay, you know, I watched the film for a couple of hours, I'm happy, that's it. I've heard so many people talking about Toy Story 5 and this, and saying, oh yeah, did you see it, wow, it was amazing, and I love the Odyssey and all this kind of stuff, and they're completely oblivious to all the stuff that's there. They just don't see the subtext, they don't see the subliminal messaging, they don't see the propaganda whatsoever, and whether they can't see it, they're not educated enough to see it, or they're willfully ignorant, I do not know. But that's the reason why these films are making money anyway.
It doesn't convince me. Maybe it'll be a streaming one I'll wait for, to be honest with you, and check it out then.
As a filmmaker, it's in my opinion, it's so badly made. It's not badly made as in, you know, I don't know, like an amateur film or anything like that. But as a filmmaker, it could have been so much better. Photography wasn't very good. Well, I put it down to the locations that they found. Locations were terrible. They, it's meant to be Greece, nice and sunny, and golden and stuff. And all it was dull. Every shot was dull.
Yeah, the trailer completely put me off because all I was seeing was grey. And I tuned out, just looked in the other direction at something colourful, So I just the style of it is off-putting to begin with before I even watched the film.
Yeah. And there's things that happen in it that bothers me. Like, for instance, so we got Elaine, what's her name? Elaine Page? No, not Elaine Page.
Elliot Page.
Elliot Page. Elliot Page, right? She dies in. Well, anyway, if you haven't seen it, this is a spoiler. She dies in the beginning and she comes back as a ghost. And when she appears as a ghost with all these other people that are dead, the Matt Damon and his crew just stand there. They're not shocked. They're not scared. It just, and also, right, so Spider-Man and Bourne, right? So Spider-Man is Jason Bourne and Spider-Man, they're related.
You're just adding new cast to the film now, aren't you, to make it better?
Father and son, right? So all the way through the film, Peter Parker's going, I want my dad back. He's gonna set everything straight. He's not dead. It's been like 8 years since everybody's saying he's dead. Then he finds out he's alive. And he doesn't do anything. He doesn't go up to him and hug him or, go, oh, Dad, I'm so glad to see you. Nothing. It's just weird. The whole thing is just weird. It's like no man in this film can get anything good. Most of his crew died. Well, all of his crew died. He survived. He's the only man that survived, right? There's one bit in it when a woman was saying, all men do is cause wars. It's just an attack on men, this film. All right, there's a bit in it where he kills everybody and he gets his place back or whatever. But it's just, that is the film that we're presented with. Yes, normies won't see it, but people like us will see it. That's the thing. So
yeah. So just before we carry on, I just want to say that old Yorkshire geek, thank you very much for the super chat, my friend. Really appreciate it. £5, blimey. I might be able to afford a UK government bus fare at this rate. Yay, thank you very much.
Great stuff.
Yeah,
you can get a coffee. You can get us some coffee. Yeah. That's what you do. Yeah.
But so would you watch it again, or is it a one and done for you?
No, I don't think anyone will watch this again. And not even normies will watch this again, I reckon. But look, I always say this in every live stream: don't fucking listen to me. If you really want to know what the film was about, go and see it. Check it out yourself, and don't watch it on streaming. Go to the cinema and watch it, because that's the way it's supposed to be seen, whether it be an IMAX or 70mm or just super screen. It's up to you, but keep the cinema alive and go and see the film in the cinema. It's the best, because if you watch it in streaming, you'll be sitting there and you'll be like, oh, I fancy a cup of tea. Pause. Go and have a cup of tea. Right?
Yeah.
Sitting there after you've had a cup of tea, 15 minutes later, you're going, I need to go for a piss. Pause. Go for a piss. Come back, turn it on, then go, you know what? I'm feeling a bit hungry. I think I'll go in the fridge.
Later.
Yes, I'm saying. So in other words, it's when you're watching the film, it's you're stopping it, you're jarring it, you're basically not watching it as a full-flown film. And the only place you can watch it from start to finish is the freaking cinema, and it's the best way to watch film. So freaking don't listen to me. Go and see it. Make up your own mind, but watch it in the cinema.
Yeah,
That's
he's not messing around everybody. He's telling
I
you
love
get
films.
to the cinema. Yeah.
I love films. That's the only way to watch films. Yeah. I think we all do, but we're not getting it, are we? So,
We're not.
No.
We're nowhere near it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So what we'll do now, with the Odyssey finished there, we'll move on to our next discussion. Okay.
Yeah.
Have you guys 1 second. Have you guys seen this? Have you seen the trailer for it? Johnny Depp.
I've seen it. Yeah.
As Ebenezer. I liked it. I liked the trailer.
Yeah.
I did.
But I hope they don't woke it up.
Yeah.
Because you know what films are like now. I hope they don't take that character and make him, you know, still horrible at the ending. Because that seems to be Hollywood's MO at the moment. Supporting evil, supporting bad guys on the screen. Oh no, they're not evil. They've just been misinterpreted. Do you know what I mean? That's all. That's bollocks. You got good and evil. Let's just keep going that way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So this is coming out in November for Thanksgiving in the US, isn't it?
Christmas over here, I think.
Yeah. So it's so Thanksgiving in the US, but it's I didn't mind it. I thought Johnny Depp is always good value for money, isn't he? So let's see how it does. But as I said, the trailer looked good. Have you seen it, Swappers, at all?
Only a few seconds of just the start of it with the sound off because I was busy and it was a loud environment. But not watched it yet. No, there's a load of trailers and stuff that have been released that I haven't had a chance to sit down and watch yet because this is the weekend for it. Everything's going to get released this weekend, so it's going to be like sit down for an hour and binge watch everything that was released this weekend or announced. So I haven't seen it yet. But I mean, I'm not a massive fan of Johnny Depp and the story. But I mean, if they're going to do something interesting with it, and it's good to look at, and obviously if there's no wokeness plugged into it, then I might give it a go. But at the moment, it's not my sort of thing, to be honest with you, this story anyway. But I'm happy for anyone that is excited by this. I know there's a lot of Johnny Depp fans anyway.
Yeah,
I think it's nice that he's come back since he had trouble because Hollywood just blacklisted him, didn't he? And now he's back because obviously Tim Burton producing it, I think, and I think another director's directing, but Tim Burton's producing. But I love Charles Dickens' Christmas Carol. I think it's a brilliant story and it's uplifting as well. I just hope they don't take that away from it, if you know what I mean. So I love a good Christmas film. I hope this one is a Christmas film. Fingers crossed, right? So
yeah. I mean, exactly. It's like they completely alter Christmas Day. Please don't do that.
They take the word Christmas out of it entirely, so they never say the word all the way through the movie. You can imagine, can't you?
Well, that's a red flag that's come out. It's called Ebenezer. It's not called Ebenezer Scrooge A Christmas Carol. It's not.
Yeah, I saw something. Something to do with this. It said before he was Scrooge, he was Ebenezer or something. I think, hang on a minute, no, it'd still be Scrooge, wouldn't he? It doesn't change his name.
Well, that's what I'm hoping, that they haven't screwed around with the story and turn this bad guy into a bad guy, if you know what I mean, because that's Hollywood's MO at the moment.
It'll be good morning, everyone. Happy Pride.
Yeah.
You boy, get me the brightest pants you can find me.
But Swappers, your Star Wars girl is in it, isn't she?
Is she? Who's that? Oh, Daisy
Yeah.
Ridley.
Daisy Ridley's in it. Yep, Daisy
Didn't know
Ridley,
that.
and I think someone from Harry Potter's in it as well. I think the guy with the ginger hair, can't remember his name. I think he's in it. I think, and somebody I can't remember. There's a few Star Wars people in it and stuff. So
Okay.
it's going to be interesting. Put it that way.
I just want to say as well, a very big thank you to Christy. Good to see you, Christy. Thank you for the super chat. $5 as well. So yeah, thank you very much. I'm in the money tonight. That means I could actually go out in the next week or so. Thanks very much.
Well, it is dollars, so
yeah, exactly. Well, I have to spend it in the US when I go over there. Yeah. So yeah, that's Ebenezer, and like you say, we're hoping it is Scrooge.
Yeah,
not some weird
fingers crossed
build up to it.
Yeah.
But moving on to the next thing, I don't know if you guys have seen this one this week, but have you seen this? Days of Thunder 2 officially in the works with Tom Cruise. Yep.
Oh God.
No,
so it's going to be a Top Gun Maverick, isn't it? You know, and he's probably going to be the mentor race car driver. You know, he's going to be the Robert Duvall character, isn't he? For the sequel, I imagine. I guess there won't be Nicole Kidman in it, that's for sure.
Yeah, but guess who'll be driving the car? It'll be a
woman.
Or a black guy. It'll be a woman or a black guy, I reckon.
Yeah.
And they got to win. Of course, yeah. Or drag queen. It'd be a drag queen driving the car.
Well, a lot of these stories are about like the main character sort of like going through arduous trial experiences where they kind of lose a few races and then they learn and they smash the car up and maybe get injured and they fight back and they win it right at the end kind of thing. So it's like a real sort of root for them kind of story. But yeah, I mean, if it's a woman in the behind the wheel, then it'll be sort of she's a perfect driver. She's better than all the men. She just needs the men to get out of her way, then she can win.
Yeah, it's got automatic.
All the other men racers are just in her way. That's all it is.
Yeah. Stay out of my lane.
Do you know what's really sad is that Hollywood could have their cake and eat if they want, if they just do it right. Because I've always said this. I really think that there should be equal when it comes to film, women and men. You know, there should be women leads and there should be male leads as well, white male leads, black leads, whatever, you know, whatever color they are, whatever nationality they are, and do it properly. You know, you can't have a female lead and she has no faults in her whatsoever. She's perfect. You just can't do that because people won't warm to it. Do it. If you're going to do something with a woman lead, do it properly. If you're going to do something with a man of color, do it properly. Don't freaking let them have the advantage over everyone in the script, because that's just the message, isn't it? Or the worst thing is they got a gay friend. Do you know what I mean? It's always the same thing, isn't it? It's like, and that gay friend is really, you know, really nice, and you know what I mean? It's all rubbish. It's just like, if you're going to do it properly. Do you know what I mean? So it serves the audience as a whole, rather than a niche audience, you know, that won't support your film because they're too small to support it in numbers, of course. Sorry.
I think we've had this discussion before, guys, and my view has always been as well. You can have woke and diversity, equity, and inclusion policies. You can have that all day long. It doesn't mean you have to have diversity, equity, and inclusion in every production you can do. You do.
Yeah.
You can have a movie that's got that, and then you could have a movie like this that doesn't have that, and you're still hitting your quota. Plus, you sign off on diverse productions being made specifically catered for that. What we don't like is the fact they keep integrating it into stuff that's been historically there and loved.
And you know why they do that, don't you, John? You know why they do that? Because they realize that having a total woke film, doesn't resonate with the audience. And the reason why it doesn't resonate with the audience is because the audience for that is a niche audience and it's tiny, right?
Yeah.
But these people that are part of the niche audience and part of the LGB, whatever, blah, 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 they run Hollywood. So their mission is to force what they believe, whether it be bad, actually it's all bad, and take an IP and force it. It's like trying to force a square peg into a round hole. Do you know what I mean? And that's what they keep doing with every film that comes out. They keep doing that. They take something that's male driven and they'll put a woman in there and turn it into a woman brand when it's not supposed to be a woman brand. And then they wonder why it fails. Like, it's failed. How did that happen? Duh. Do you know what I mean? So that's what they keep doing. No wonder why people are walking away.
We don't see any female brands being turned into male brands, do we?
Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
We don't see, like, you know, period dramas getting turned into an action movie with, you know, in an old
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, people jump through windows and shoot in the gardener and like
Great Expectations. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know, and just like, you know, grabbing hold of Lizzie, whatever her face is, and like bending her over and snogging her before like shooting 3 assassins that come through the window. You know, we don't get any of that. So why are they doing it in the other direction? Why are we getting this just one direction? Everything's being changed and destroyed in. You know, I know the answer, but no one seems to be asking this question.
Well, we know the answer.
I just think, again, exactly right. And how many times have we talked about it? That the all-time classic example of that is Doctor Who. Look at it. It's cancelled. sorry, rested. You know, and because they can't get anybody to flipping sign up and want to co-produce it at the moment. So
no, that's not the problem. I think the problem is that
they damaged it so much.
No, that's not the problem. The problem with Doctor Who is that the reason why they haven't met up with someone yet is because they're all trying to figure out how they can still keep the message at full tilt, right? And try and get the normie audience to like it, right? That's an impossible task because it's been proven that Doctor Who doesn't work with the full message at full tilt, which is what Russell T gave us. He pissed off so many fans that people don't want to know anymore. And now they say it's out to tender, or shall I say Tinder? Might as well be out to Tinder, for God's sakes. Yeah. Okay, so they're saying that to try and find a producer to actually bring it back. And look, there are people out there that want to bring it back, but the BBC's not going to give it to someone that will eliminate the message, as those Drinker would say.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And again, that is an issue. And I still think, you know, I don't know if you guys have watched the Sense Sphere lately, but they had some discussions on there about it. And although it's out to tender, they pretty much, I believe, they feel that it's going to go to BBC Studios. So if it's BBC Studios, it's going to be the same people because it's a rigged game, isn't it? So you're going to have the same problem again and again, like you said a few minutes ago, and I'm kind of saying the same thing but with different words. Is effectively every single time they fail, they know what the problem is, but they're not prepared to address that because that is the key mission and message that they want to push. And that's the trouble. Going back to Days of Thunder 2, I have hope for it. I've got no problem with it purely because Tom Cruise doesn't take any of that kind of woke shit. He just wants to make something as good as he can. Well, look at I think to myself, Days of Thunder wasn't the greatest of movies. I love it. I do enjoy Days of Thunder, but I don't mind a sequel. And again, I remember when Top Gun Maverick was coming out and I was very, very on edge about it because I'm a big Top Gun fan. But you know what? I loved Top Gun Maverick. It was really well done.
It was. So
let's see if they can do it again.
I don't know about this one. I think obviously Tom Cruise is coming out a film called Digger, right? And that film looks just bloody weird. I'm
looking forward to that one.
When I saw the trailer, I'm like, you know what? This film does not interest me at all. So I think Tom Cruise is like, you know what? I've done everything. I'm going to try and do the weirdest thing ever. And he's in Digger, and somebody said, oh, let's make a second one to Days of Thunder, and it's like, he goes, yeah, all right then. Do you know what I mean? I don't think he's excited about why would you be excited about something like this? How many years has it been separated from the film that came out?
1990 was that? 1990 was the last or Days of Thunder came out, I think.
Yeah.
And are they going to get what's his name back? Who? Forget his name now. The guy that was in Guardians of the Galaxy. Because he plays the competitive driver that they have a crash together in the first Days of Thunder. Him and
I
Tom
can't
Cruise.
remember the film. I can't remember.
Yeah, and they both end up in hospital, and they're racing each other with wheelchairs in the first Days of Thunder.
I mean, Chris Pratt.
No, I'm talking about, I forget his name now, but Guardians of the Galaxy. It's not Yondu.
Michael Rooker.
Michael Rooker. Yeah.
Okay.
He was in the first one, so they might get him back. Yeah. They won't get Nicole Kidman back. So there we go.
So what happens with that character then?
Well, Michael Rooker's character in it, him and Tom Cruise's character, or is it Cole Trickle? I love that name, Cole Trickle.
Bloody hell. I forgot about that.
Do you know what? That was a period. Do you remember that comedian said about Tom Cruise movies? He said, what was it? They said, what? Top Gun, best fighter pilot in the world, loses his confidence, gets his confidence back, becomes the best fighter pilot in the world. Days of Thunder, best driver in the world, loses his confidence, gets his confidence back.
Cocktail.
Cocktail, best cocktail maker in the world. Jerry Maguire, best sports agent in the world, loses his confidence, gets his confidence back, and becomes the best agent in the world.
That's because of a woman. You forgot the woman part. Meets a woman, gets his confidence back. That kind of thing. So I don't know about this film. You know what? Tom Cruise is. He's been proven that he isn't really woke. But there's we thought that Chris Nolan wasn't woke, and let's see. We saw what's happened with that. So let's find out if Tom Cruise is going to bend the knee to this crap. We'll see, right?
Yep, Dutch. Yeah, we did. Oh, yeah, we did. And that's coming up, mate. Trust me, we'll be talking about that one.
No.
And Sword in the Storm. There is no way Nicole Kidman's going to be involved in Days of Thunder 2. No way that's happening.
She might make a cameo. You never know.
They can't stand each other, though, can they? Her and Cruise.
No, I think they're okay with each other now. I think so. I'm not sure. I don't know.
I think her daughter doesn't even talk to her anymore because he lives with him. Or that's the latest I heard, but could be wrong. So, guys, moving on to the next article. Again, I've said I'm looking forward to Days of Thunder 2. But the next one I've got to bring up, guys, and to see what your thoughts are on it. Did you see this RoboCop TV series coming to Amazon Prime Video? You cancel Stargate and you bring in RoboCop. Yes.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about Amazon. Right? They're gonna fuck up James Bond, and they're gonna fuck up this. That's what they're gonna do because they're bloody lefties, all of them. Obviously, they don't have total control over each production. Some shows are not woke, but a lot of them are, especially if they're in charge. And if they're in charge of this one, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a woman that becomes RoboCop. So we'll see, right? We'll see. They're definitely going to screw up James Bond Day. Everybody knows that's what they're going to do. So we'll see anyway. I'm not looking forward to this at all.
I mean, again, I on record, I didn't watch any of the, I didn't even watch RoboCop 3. I don't think I watched 1 and 2. I didn't watch the TV series that were on. So I just literally went. I kind of in my head, I've got the Verhoeven RoboCop movie. That's it, So it's never going to be as good as that, is it?
No, it's not.
So what are your guys' thoughts on it? Swappers, what do you think about that one?
Part they them. Part
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, woke.
Like he says, they can put any parts on that they want, I suppose, can't they? So
Exactly.
yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
loses most of his body, so they could call him whatever they want at that point. Obviously,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The armor itself, the police armor, the robot armor that is over his chest will have mastectomy scars on it.
Yeah, probably.
And it'll be played by Ellen Page.
It's going to be bad. Everybody knows it's going to be bad. RoboCop is something. Look, if you look at the RoboCop film very carefully, it was very masculine. It was very much a finger up to. Yeah, it had violence. It had, it had good-looking women in it. I think. Yeah. So it's.
I'd buy that for $1.
The whole thing about RoboCop was it was a one and done. The first one, they didn't. They should have made the second one. They shouldn't have made the third one. RoboCop should have finished that one and just leave it alone. But making it into a TV series, where can you go with it? Where can you go with it? No.
That's and again, if there's people in the chat, I mean, a friend of mine, Jeff from Sons and Shadows, I think he knows more about the TV series than I do, so he would probably be in a good place to answer that. But again, I've got no reference on that. I've just got 1 and 2, and that's it really. But even 2 I didn't think was particularly great. 1 was superb, and it was my childhood. It was like everybody was talking about it, late 80s, at school, have you seen RoboCop yet? Great. It was it was funny. I was watching a comic book documentary earlier, and they were talking about Judge Dredd, and they said they were hacked off because they thought Verhoeven ripped off Judge Dredd for RoboCop.
It wasn't him. It wasn't him. It was the writer. Verhoeven didn't write it. It was the writer. He was inspired by Judge Dredd and Rom. That comic book Rom. He was inspired by those two to create RoboCop. So it's not the director just came in to direct it, and that's exactly what he did. And he did it very well as well. Plus, as I said, it's very visceral. The first RoboCop. Do you know what I mean? It's very flat as a story. It's very simple, and it's violent. And it has a lot of things to say about. It has sarcasm. And it has, the things to say about the time when it was made. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So, but what are they going to do now? Because obviously we know that blue-haired
they're not going to do that violence.
Yeah, exactly. In charge of Hollywood, they don't have a clue what life's all about. So how are they going to do this? To write a good screenplay, you have to have experience of life, properly, and have that experience with you when you write. But especially when you write in RoboCop, so it's going to be shit. Everybody knows that.
Yeah. And again, just whoopie-doo, yeah. Again, and on just on the side note of it, with Stargate being cancelled, it's so annoying they got rid of the original production team. But if it ever came back now and they don't have those people involved, it will be a reboot and it'll be a woke mess. So for me, I think I said to someone the other week, I said I wouldn't even watch it, without those original production guys involved. I've got no interest in it. If you're going to eject potentially all of that history from SG1 onwards, then fine, don't do it. But yeah, RoboCop, that's the latest one. I'm not overly confident on it, but as we know about, like with Stargate, for all we know, this will probably get cancelled before they even get into proper production.
Well, the rumor on Stargate was that the people actually created it. The people, they were fighting for it to be the same, but Amazon wanted it to be more today, and make of that as you will, and that's why it all fell apart. And then when they couldn't come to a decision, they couldn't find a balance between what they wanted and what Amazon wanted. The big man came in and said, right, that's it. We're scrapping it. and that was that. That's the rumor.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go.
Well, I think all you got to do is you've got to look at the track record of studios now, like Amazon, and you look at it and you think, well, look what they've done with Wheel of Time. Look what they've done with, Lord of the Rings. Like you said, what are they going to do with Bond? It all stacks up, doesn't it? So
they're going to wreck Bond. Going to wreck it.
Yeah, I think wasn't it the casting guy came out a couple of weeks ago and he said that Bond will be a straight white man and not a woman, and it's crazy these days that you actually have to have someone come out and say that. That's how stupid things have got.
It's going to be a young man, though. That's the problem with it. Look, and I
not
heard
earning his 00 status again. I hope not.
I heard
do that.
I've seen some live streams on James Bond and talking about Amazon, right? One person said, who should be kicked in the head for saying this, he goes, "Oh, people won't understand it if it's another guy. What happened to the other guy, the other actor? Why is Bond different?" I'm like, you fucking idiot. Do you know what I mean? Have you not been watching James Bond, you twat? Do you know what I mean? Whoever you cast, if you cast the right guy as James Bond, then he's going to be accepted as James Bond. Everybody knows that James Bond starts from a different, sorry.
Yeah, you're right. And you know what, mate? When I was a kid, I didn't have a problem with the transition from Roger Moore to Timothy Dalton.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, I'm watching a Bond movie. Yeah, I loved Roger Moore as Bond. That was my Bond. But I was fine with Timothy Dalton. I liked Timothy Dalton a lot. And I was fine when it went to Brosnan. So these people are, you're right, they're idiots, aren't they, when they say these things? It's like, I don't know.
I think Swappers, your favourite is Dalton, isn't it?
It is, Dalton? Yeah. I absolutely love Dalton, yeah.
Yeah,
and
he was
too.
Ahead of his time, wasn't he? Ahead of his time. With the films he was doing. But I love his interviews, Dalton, because where he says he wanted to go back to the books, to the novels, make him gritty. And I remember the documentary, they said, parents were complaining because they couldn't take their kids to the cinema. And he goes, well, it was never meant for that, but no, I was upset. I couldn't watch it.
No, but that's the
movies are different to the novels. Yeah,
exactly. That's a stupid thing for Dalton to say, right? If Dalton signs up for Bond, he has to concede to the idea that it's a Bond movie. It's not the novel. If they shot the novel like it was written, nobody'd be watching it. Do you know what I mean? Spy Love Me was a small story they stretched out, obviously, for the movie. But listen, right? Again, I would say movies are for people like us from the age of 40 straight up, because kids watch movies, but they don't understand it as from the kids that I know. So if you're going to make a Bond film, please us. What we want is a masculine man to do masculine things, hot women. We want the silhouette women dancing back as well. Yeah, in the beginning,
doing the leap in the air naked.
That's
right.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we just want a Bond film. Do you remember Swappers? I don't know if you remember this, right? But Timothy Dalton. There's a scene where Timothy Dalton is talking to Moneypenny, and Moneypenny says, "Anytime you want to check out my Barry Manilow records," and he looks at her, straightens her glasses and slaps her ass. You know what I mean? And that's in Living Daylights. Do you know what I mean? So there you go.
I have to say that Living Daylights movie, I think I talked to you about it before, but I do love the fact that he manages in Austria, he manages to put outside the cafe a very large, sophisticated explosive device that manages to slide the door and then crush the guy and kill him with nobody seeing him at all.
Yeah, it's Bond for you, isn't it? It's like it's
just escapism fun.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you can forgive in films. I don't know if you know, it's called the invisible sequence. I don't know if you guys know that in films. So basically, you ever see I think I saw this in a video once. I can't remember where I saw it. The Good, Bad, and the Ugly. You ever see that film? There's a bit in it where where Ugly and Blondie are walking
Mm.
down, and suddenly from the left of frame, all these guns start pointing to them, and they stop, right, and they get take hostage. But there's no way they couldn't have seen them if they're walking forward. How comes they can't see them? And it's one of those things that they do in movies. It's the same thing with what we mentioned just now. They do that in movies all the time, but you give it a pass because it's a movie. All people want is gadgets, good-looking women, a good-looking Bond, action, a bit of kissy and stuff, and
a flipping 00 status, not earning his stripes as a 00.
Yeah,
just
that's all they
give
want.
me that. I'm happy with
good
it.
Stunts.
Yeah.
They want good stunts as well. That's all they want, and that's what we should get as James Bond. We shouldn't get anything else other than that. But anyway, I digress.
So guys, moving on to the next. Masters of the Universe becomes Prime Video's #1 movie worldwide. I haven't seen it yet. So what are your guys' thoughts on this movie?
I haven't seen it.
And is it going to get a sequel, do you reckon?
I haven't seen it. I can't comment on this. And Swappers, you haven't seen it, have you?
No. The first time I saw the trailer just put me off. I just thought, nah, this isn't Master of the Universe.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the people behind this wanted to make some kind of live action version of the original cartoon with all the campness and the sort of tongue-in-cheek humor and that kind of humor that was in those Scooby-Doo live action movies, where it's kind of self-referential and self-aware, and it just puts me right off as soon as I see that kind of thing in there. I'm going in the other direction, because that's not the reason I loved Masters of the Universe as a kid. I loved Masters of the Universe before the TV show even aired, because of the way they all look like super violent barbarians with laser guns. I mean, that's the most amazing concept a little kid could ever want, like swords, bad guys with skulls,
Conan,
incredible sci-fi ships and stuff, but then like sort of creepy Frank Frazetta style fictional beasts and locations and structures, all that kind of stuff, and mysticism, like Conan mixed in with Star Wars. That's what I wanted. And then the cartoon came along and it really gayed it up. And I just thought, this, even as an 11-year-old, this feels wrong to me. So I watched the first season, and after that, I just like, nah, this doesn't sit right at all. And I saw that Ralph Bakshi movie, which was a collaboration with Frank Frazetta back in the early 80s. I saw it as a kid, called Fire and Ice, and also the original Lord of the Rings movie. Both are beautiful, absolutely amazing. That is what I wanted from Masters of the Universe. But they wanted to make a half an hour or 20-minute long toy commercial in an animated form with a stupid socially aware message at the end. It was all moralistic, and it was, don't do violence, kids, even though
don't do drugs.
Yeah, even though we're punching each other and we've got swords and guns and everything, don't do violence, kids. Basically, that was it, And I just thought, no, we want violence. That's why we like, that's why we want all the weapons. That's why we like Star Wars. This is why we like G.I. Joe and Action Force. We want to shoot each other up and kill each other with explosions. This is why we like the A-Team, even though the people don't die. This is why we like Airwolf. This is why we like, what was it? Blue Thunder and Knight Rider and whatever.
Street Hawk and all of that. Yeah.
This is what, we want explosions. We want action. We want people flying in the air with breaking limbs and getting punched in the face, and that's what kids want. They don't want to be spoken down to. They don't want things sanitized. And this Master of the Universe trailer just put me right off. I thought, obviously they want to get all audiences in here, but as a kid, I would have wanted to see some epic Conan style fantasy adventure with loads of violence in it, amazing special effects, scary creatures, and take itself 100% seriously all the way through. That's what I would have wanted as a kid and an adult. And if they're not going to give me that, I'm not interested really at all. They just, it's like they want to force the wokeness in there. They want to force the campness in there, and they want to be tongue-in-cheek and self-referential, and it doesn't work for me. And I just thought, nah, not interested. I ain't going to watch it. And I think this film is actually rumored to be getting a sequel as well. So, even though it failed at the box office, it's still they're still making another one. So I don't know.
But sorry, go ahead, mate.
That's right. I was just going to say, I watched my Masters of the Universe animated set recently, and you talk about the morals at the end. I actually wish they bring them back because they're great. Because like, there's one of them, like Man at Arms. He goes, and if you see a strange van across the road outside your school, please tell a teacher or an adult about it. Until next time, kids, take care. That's Man at Arms saying it. And you're like, come on, bring that back. You know, you want to do like jokey, like don't do glue sniffing or something like that, you know, and they're high on at the end of it. Just bring it back.
I wish we'd got one with featuring Fisto, and he could have just said, like, remember, kids, violence is never the answer. But if you're going to fist someone, at least use lube.
And Ram Man. Or both in the same
bit. Interchangeable. You're right.
Yeah. Sorry, mate. You were saying?
No, just saying that when I saw pictures from this film, it's one of the reasons why I didn't go out my way to watch it. The person that's playing Adam, he looks very effeminate, and it's obvious that he did the best he can to build himself up like He-Man, but he didn't make it. As far as I'm concerned,
no.
And you look at him, you think, He-Man's far. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of He-Man, but I know the cartoon. I've watched a couple of the cartoons. You want him to look like the character, but he doesn't.
You want him roided up, don't you? Like an Arnie, like Dolph, as he was in the late 80s movie. I'm on record. I love the 80s movie. I still enjoy that a lot. You want that.
The 80s movie was beautiful to look at. It really was, even though it was cheap and it was set on Earth, etc., and had all these drawbacks. You know, it still looked great. You know, even the characters and stuff didn't really look like they did in the cartoon or the toys. It was a really good spin on it, and Dolph Lundgren just looked fantastic in that role.
Yeah,
everyone.
Langella as Skeletor was superb.
He was. You're right. Even though it wasn't a typical kind of Skeletor, it was a very different kind of Emperor Palpatine kind of Skeletor, but it worked. You know, and the I can't remember her name off the top of my head, and I'll kick myself later.
Evelyn.
The girl that played Evelyn. Oh my God, she looked gorgeous.
Meg Foster.
Yes, and perfect casting for that as well. That's the thing I always remember with her from that movie is her, because she looks so perfect. Even the girl that played Teela looked nothing like Teela, but she looked great. And it was like a really good reimagining, you know, one of those reimaginings that worked. And this new one just doesn't look like that to me. It looks like I'm just looking at special effects. And you look at that original movie, you can see the special effects, sure, but you know everything's practical in that film. And it really adds so much to it when you know it's real and tangible.
Yeah, and it's interesting how they go, it's Master Universe is Prime Video #1 movie in the worldwide. But it freaking failed at the box office in the cinema. So what is this? Do you know what I mean? Oh yeah, thousands of people watched it on Prime Video, but nobody watched it in the cinema. What does that say for the film? It means nobody wants to go and see it in the cinema. Do you know? And also, right, they count these things where you could be watching it for 5 minutes and go, "This is shit," and turn it off, and that's count as a view. Yeah. So do you know what I mean? Unlike in the cinema, box office counts for the success of the movie, which is far more accurate than actually watching 2 minutes of this shit. And well, I don't know if it's shit because I haven't seen it. And going, I'll watch something else. Do you know what I mean? And it counts as a view. So I don't know why they're boasting. What are they boasting about when we know that's what goes on? You know. So anyway,
yeah, I think you guys are similar to me on most stuff. Really, is you'll always give it a chance. You'll always give it a try. You know, and make your own opinion about it, unless you're Ian and it's this. I'm going to watch it this weekend finally and see what I think about it. But I know already, and again, no, I think it's just included on the Prime deal at the moment that I've got, so that's good. But I think going into it, look, it's never going to be my childhood, so I've already convinced myself that it's never going to live up to that. But as long as there's something decent in it and I'm entertained, that's the main thing. But I've heard different things. I've heard people saying it's quite woke. I've heard people saying it isn't woke. So I'm going to be interested to see what it's like when I check it out. But with that said, and this has come up.
Before we move on, right? So I'm looking at it and it says #1 in the UK, right? And have you heard of a film called Ride or Die?
Yeah.
So basically, this is film on Amazon, and they seem to be taking actors from Ted Lasso. And this film's called Ride or Die, where the main woman in Ted Lasso is the secret agent. And who's the black girl that's in it? What's her name? Jesus, this looks so fucking awful. Olivia Spencer. Olivia Spencer and her beating people up 10 times their size. Honestly, if they keep making movies like this, what is the point? Why would you watch something like this? Everybody knows that this thing is just absolute nonsense. Anyway, I digress. Carry on.
Yeah, you can have an element of disbelief, but that's taken it too far for me. Like when they always beat up some guy 2 to 3 times their size, and they sort of like throw them over a room. It's just like no, I'm sorry, it's not working. I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
It's not a sexist thing. It's like it's a physicality thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be you know what, right? We were talking about this on Brown's show on Wednesday night, but because we're talking about old movies from the 80s and 90s, whatever, and Last Action Hero came up, and I've got a real soft spot for that movie. And it's kind of like what would happen if these characters sort of inhabited the real world, and what compared to how their experiences would be in the movie world. And you get the things where Charles Dance's character walks out into the street, shoots someone, and no one turns up to arrest him. And Schwarzenegger sort of breaks open a car's window, and it really hurts his arm, and things like that. And it'd be good to see a sequel to Last Action Hero, where you get sort of like some girl boss, Mary Sue, who comes into the real world. Everything isn't handed to her on a plate, and she tries to
thrown through a window.
She tries to take down a room full of like bouncers, and then just get absolutely pasted and gets taken. And the next thing it just cuts, and the next thing is you see an ambulance like tearing it down the street to the hospital.
Just a blood trail.
Yeah.
And
that'll be interesting. But they'll never do that in a film because whammon. It's all about the whammon, So anyway.
And we're coming on to this one now. People brought this up in the chat, and I saw the trailer for it. Ian, I know you saw the trailer for it as well, but it is, if I can, here we go, Blade Runner 2099. Now, I'm going to say it. I'm going to go straight on in there. Saw the trailer. Everyone is female in the trailer. There's a black guy. I think I saw briefly for a few seconds a white guy, but he's the bad guy in it. And straight away I was like, this film, just this series, straight away from it, it doesn't engage me. It just looks miserable to me. There's no excitement or joy in it. It's like this is clearly a replicant perspective. It's just not. I'm not interested in it at all. Well, what are your guys' thoughts on it?
The last one was crap anyway. The last one was crap. The last film was crap. Look, Blade Runner, it's Prime again. They've turned it into a girl's brand. Lord knows why. Haven't they learnt that it's definitely a male's brand, and it's also a very niche audience that like Blade Runner as well. I don't care what anyone says. Yeah, everybody goes on about how brilliant Blade Runner is. Yeah, great. It changes the face of sci-fi. Blah 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 blah. But did millions go to watch Blade Runner 2020? What was it? 2020, 19, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
No, they did not. It was a huge flop. You know why? Because it was boring as shit. That's why it was a huge flop. And also, the mistakes that the first one had, and let's face it, it did have mistakes because it was slow, right? They even made it slower. So, do you know what I mean? It made no sense whoever it was, it really knew his name.
Nimi Nu did it?
It wasn't Leto. Yeah, it was the guy that's just done Project Hail Mary.
Yeah, I hated the sequel to Blade Runner. They should just left it the way it was. And Harrison Ford, they focused a lot on him. He just appears halfway through the movie and does nothing. It's just the whole film is nonsense. It really is. And now they're presenting us with a TV show with a female lead that has a big nose. Come on, let's face it, she's got a big nose. And turning in a male TV male sort of like what do I call it? Male film into a female film. Who's going to be watching this? Who's going to be watching it?
Well, I've been on record before. I'm not a fan of the first Blade Runner movie. I find it boring. I find it quite dull. I've never been a fan of it, so I wasn't invested anyway. But this, like her in this first trailer, and then it's got Michelle Yeoh in it as well, and it's like,
God,
I'm just nothing stands out to me to make me think, oh yeah, that is super exciting. I cannot wait to see that. That's where I am with it. What about you, Swappers?
Well, I genuinely love the original. Not when I was a kid. I just like you, I just found it really slow and boring. And whenever I see Harrison Ford on screen, especially in a sci-fi movie, it's Han Solo to me. And it's not right.
Yeah.
Han Solo not running around shooting a blaster and, flying a ship and loads of action. So I just couldn't get on with it. But as an adult, I really, really loved it and saw it in a completely different way and really got absorbed by the kind of the noir detective aspect to it.
Same here.
Yeah, and the original voiceover version, the original theatrical cut, was really good, and I still prefer that one now. I like all the others as well, but that's kind of my favorite. But 2097 or whatever it was called, 2047, the sequel made by Nimi Nimi Nu was just, again, I kind of forced myself to like it because I've got a lot more tolerance with films now. I can sit through things like that. And it's almost like he sat down to go, Blade Runner, yes, that should be really slow, plodding with drawn out silence shots, and just to sort of the beauty of whatever and the stylisticness and whatever, And that's what Blade Runner should be, not sort of dynamic or interesting or action packed or anything like that in any way. Let's not do anything new with it. Let's make it exactly like the old one, but make it even more like the old one than the old one was. And you just gotta watch it. You're just yawning all the way through it, thinking. And it got to the end, and back then, before I knew any better, I just thought, "Oh, that was a really good film. I quite enjoyed that." And if I went back and watched it now, I'd be like, "Oh God, no!" It's just they're trying to emulate the first movie and trying to emulate that success, and it will never work if you do that. Look at the difference between Alien and Aliens. That's how to maintain audience interest, and also do something new with it. Do something great, push it forwards, and add to it, and embellish the universe, and just make it more of an interesting place to be and show new things there, with also paying homage to the original. And they just did not do that with the last movie at all. And with this thing, honestly, they're just trying to capitalize on the franchise, on the name of it. It will have barely anything to do with the original story. It's just the feminism message again all over it. One of the main characters, the person with the big nose that Ian said, is actually transgender.
Probably.
Hollywood is trying to get they/them cast as Princess Zelda in the Zelda movie, which never would have flown. And Nintendo were completely against it, so they ended up casting an actual woman in the role. And all the wokies out there in Wokeland all had an online meltdown because the person wasn't cast as Princess Zelda. So they thought, well, we've got to get her in a Hollywood movie somewhere along the line. Let's put her in this one. And this is just another vehicle for wokeness, destroying the original brand name. And it's like they're taking down every single male-orientated staple franchise that men have loved over the last 50 years, destroying every single one with wokeness, and this is just the latest one on the production line.
And do you know what? So the second Blade Runner film, I thought it was going to be Harrison Ford and Gosling, whatever his name is, together. I'm going to start the movie. I thought that the whole thing was about him getting Rachel pregnant. And the idea that a replicant can actually give birth to a hybrid replicant and human. I thought that's what the story was going to be about. And I thought, Harrison Ford's on the run because he's broken some law, and Gosling meets him, and that kind of thing. And it had more action in it. It had more him eliminating, replicants, a lot more action, like as you said with Alien, they made it completely different from the first one, didn't copy the first one. I thought it was going to be like that. I thought, I was like, okay, good. And then
a bloody war movie, the second one. Yeah,
it wasn't. It was rubbish. Is this one scene in it where he goes to the archives, right? I don't know if you remember this bit, Swappers, and they're walking. It must have taken a minute to walk to one place to the next, all in one shot. I'm sitting there going, what the fuck am I watching? Do you know what I mean? It's like, and anyway, right? The first Blade Runner, the reason why I like the first Blade Runner Now, to be honest, it's because now I can see it's unique. The special effects are beautiful. Harrison Ford's performance is very nuanced. It's very good. Do you know what I mean? And the whole idea and the whole concept of him killing replicants and feeling sorry for them because they're almost human is a good thing. And I don't care what anyone says. He is not a freaking replicant. The whole point of him, the whole point of the first film was that he was human. So that's why he was disgusted by what he did, because he was human. Anyway, yeah. I'm sure a lot of people disagree with me. And Ridley Scott said he's not human, but Ridley Scott, he's lying through his ass. Originally, he was human. Now just changing the whole thing. Anyway, Blade Runner. Blade Runner.
there's a lot of rage there from Mr. Diaz.
No,
you know, he's like, don't come at me. Not a replicant. Everybody, fight me.
He is not a replicant. It's bollocks. Because the whole thing. If you watch the first one. Look, I always like, I don't know about you swappers, but I always like the original version of Blade Runner. I didn't like the one where they updated it, and I don't care about the ending. I thought the ending was okay. You know, they had the clip from The Shining and he was driving away with her, and, you know, no intercept date, you know, don't know how long I've got with her, who knows, blah, blah, blah. I thought it kind of rounded off really well. Do you know what I mean? And then they started freaking around with it, taking away the voiceover, which I really loved. And, you know, and then it is what it is now. I don't know what version they got out now, but anyway, I've stop
lost
there.
Count, to be honest with you. I don't know which
that's
one
my
it is
that's
anymore.
my rant's over.
That's a good rant though, mate.
I think you're right about the original film being about the fact that Deckard was human.
He was human.
I loved the kind of is he or isn't he aspect to it as well, where it makes you guess. It makes you second guess and look at the film differently. Even though he is human, it makes you think, you know, and that's a good aspect to any movie, to add that in there as well. An extra bit of intrigue and adds rewatchability to it. And I also liked all the other versions where he wasn't necessarily human as well, where he could have been easily a replicant. And I love the fact that there's these different versions, and it's up to the viewer to decide really their own experience. Which, I mean, when do you get that with any films? You know, that's a real rarity. So even though there are films out there that suggest he wasn't human, I appreciate, and I do prefer the one where he was human. I appreciate the fact that there is that kind of that option to have your own opinion.
Yeah, but let me just say one thing, right? The first film, he was human, right? And you know what Scott says, that he was never human. It's bollocks, right? Because what he did in the remake, when he did director's cut, he took a clip from that film with Tom Cruise with the horse. What is it? The unicorn.
Oh, Legend.
And he stuck it in that film to say that he was now a replicant, when originally that was not shot for the film. That means he was human. So I challenged Ridley Scott to prove to me that in the original script, he was a replicant. He was not a fucking replicant. I know that because he took a clip from an old film and put it in there to prove to everyone that he was a replicant. And it's bollocks. It's total bollocks. Anyway, whatever.
but similar to what Swap has said as well about the fact that, you know, we've lost the art of sort of making up your own mind. I always go back to, there was the third Doctor Who story, the Silurians. And at the end of the story, the Doctor wants the Silurians to survive in their cave, even though they tried to wipe out humanity. But Unit and the Brigadier, they blow them up. They blow them up at the end of it. And the Doctor is absolutely disgusted with what the Brigadier's done. But it leaves you to decide yourself on whether the Brigadier was right or whether the Doctor was right.
Yeah.
And you need that sort of storytelling back in movies and TV shows. I agree 100%, because you walk out and you're going, great, I want to watch that again now. I want to figure out if there's anything else, if there's breadcrumbs that I haven't picked up on in it. You know,
you can go back in. You can go back in with a different viewpoint and look at it in a completely different light. It's almost like, you know, when you get these video games where you can play good side or bad side, like Knights of the Old Republic, which I love. You can play it as Jedi all the way through, then replay it again as a Sith, and just have a completely different experience, even though it's the same game.
That's a computer game, but that's a computer game, right? But what's the difference between Ridley Scott doing that and George Lucas changing Star Wars? There's no difference.
Nothing.
So look, there isn't no difference.
And shot first.
Yeah, exactly. What Ridley Scott done was a crime to Blade Runner. He should have just left it alone, right? Because in my opinion, right, it was great the way it was. But he did a George Lucas going back and going, right, let's make him a replicant because that's my idea. And I know he had an argument with Harrison Ford on the set about that, because Harrison Ford is like, he's human. That's how I'm playing him. He's human. Do you know what I mean? And so, anyway, I don't want to take this down a rabbit hole.
No.
The good thing about Blade Runner, though, is the fact that that version still exists and it's always there for you to, say that's the real version. The other ones are just what ifs. It's when they completely retcon everything and try to make it canon and try to change everything and say, no, that's it. You must believe what we're doing now. That's what I think I have a problem with. But Blade Runner is kind of an exception. It's unique in film history. Where it's kind of got this collection of versions of the same story, and it's up to you to decide, really. It's completely up to you, and just leave it to the viewpoint of the viewer.
There's only two versions, Swapper. There's only two versions.
It's like 5 versions of that film, man. There's like 5 different cuts of it.
I know that, but the point I'm trying to make is the conclusion to the other 4 is the same. It's completely different to the first version. It's literally all 4 versions is saying that he's a replicant. The first one is saying he's not. So that's what I'm saying. He may have moved things around, edited, re-edited and stuff, but he's saying the same thing, that Deckard is a replicant. That's what he's saying.
Yeah. And just quickly on the side, Swappers, going back to Knights of the Old Republic, I played the game several times to make sure that I pulled Bastila. That was it.
I did that naturally, mate. You get the opportunity to sort of romance pretty much everyone in that game, I think, don't you? If they're female, then you're a male, you get to romance them.
Yeah. Use the Force, mate. Mind tricks.
Yeah. And then vice versa. If you play as a female, you get to romance the male characters, and you can play that game even though you're playing back through on the light side numerous times. You can have different experiences from all the different options you choose. Obviously, you can't do that with a movie because it's not interactive. But I love the fact that that exists with Blade Runner. The fact that you can go back in and see it with different eyes. I guess you could say that's similar with The Sixth Sense. Because the twist, therefore you see it completely differently on the second viewing. And the problem with The Sixth Sense, as brilliant as that film is that you can never enjoy it the same way as you did the first time you watched it. You can never have that wonderful surprise, So, you have to experience it differently the second time around. So, but I'm all for that, doing that in Hollywood or in indie movies, even, where we can have that kind of meta involvement with the audience viewing it in a completely different way. If you can just alter this one little thing about the film, you see it in a completely different light. I think that's just brilliant. I think more people would do that.
Yeah. And moving on to our next subject, guys, I don't know if you've seen this, but it's talking about games as well. Have you seen this? Atari makes Universal movie deal for 10 iconic game properties.
Yeah.
So Atari's coming to cinema, everyone.
So are they going to make a film about Pong then? You remember that? Pong?
More than likely, mate.
They made a film about Tetris. They made a film about Tetris. So they could make a film about anything, really. It just depends on whether it's set in the game or it's set in our world about the game. So, you could literally, there's no limits.
I guess. Yeah. Atari, interested?
They're pushing it. It's the latest thing, isn't it? It's going for adapting games into movies. They're still talking about the Mass Effect game as well at the moment, being adapted, aren't they, to a TV series? But couldn't think of anything worse.
I know. Hollywood's so out of ideas that they're just trying to plunder everything. And they what is there that's available? Comics, what have we done now? We've done that. Video games, but what about classic video games, retro video games? People are really into retro video games right now. Let's plunder that and turn them into movies. Terrible adaptations with the messaging. Brilliant idea.
How long before they go back to westerns again?
Oh, it all comes down in a circle, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah.
Soon.
So yeah, that was a quick aside. There's not much really for us to sort of offer on that. It's just I saw that today and I thought I'd share it with you guys.
Can I just say, John?
Another thing.
Can I just say, if they do this, then I can imagine it starting off. Even if the first film's a success, they'll start off a snowball effect, and then Namco will come out with Pac-Man, but it won't be Pac-Man. To capitalize on wokeness, it'll be called Miss Pac-Man. I mean, the wokeness is in the title right there, Miss Pac-Man. That's all you need to do right there. You know, you're ticking all the boxes.
And you won't be able to eat the ghosts because you've got to respect their safe space.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. You may laugh. I bet it's coming.
More than likely, isn't it? You know, it's so. On to our next topic, guys. I'm going to bring this in now and see what your thoughts are on this.
Sorry, John. Sword in the Storm's comment is brilliant. Sorry, that's just really good.
What's he say?
Yeah, 100%. That is coming. He's eating too many big pills.
Yeah. Oh my god. There won't be power pack pills anymore. There'll be Ozempic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Suppository pills. We could write these movies. We're really good.
What is this? Batman.
So, Batman, this is the animated series. This is the J.J. Abrams one. I remember briefly watching the first one, and if you guys don't remember, this is the one where they gender swap the Penguin.
Yep, not interested.
Yeah, so this guy is doing the voice for the Joker. I'm not at all interested in watching this after seeing the first season. What about you, Swappers?
Nobody watched it.
No, I don't think they did. I was excited when they announced it. I just thought, yes, you can, you never have enough Batman animated series. And if they're going to do more episodes, then I'm all about that. But then at the time, I didn't account into the fact that cartoons can also be wokeified. And my God, was this doused in DEI? As soon as I saw the images from it, I was out. Whatever they did to Harley Quinn, Oswalder Cobblepot. No, no, not going anywhere near it. And strangely, the X-Men 97 cartoon wasn't woke at all, which is bizarre.
It is mad, isn't it? How that wasn't woke.
Yeah, that whenever I see things that aren't woke and you expect them to be, I just think, hang on a minute, this is getting a season 2, right? Is it going to be a rug pull where they get everyone on board with the first season and everyone goes, oh no, it's okay, it's brilliant, there's no wokeness in it, and the second series is just saturated with it all the way through. So they got the viewers. They get them come back and then they just force the message in their face straight away. But Batman the Animated Series, this one just did it right from the start. It didn't pretend. It just went straight in with it. Yeah.
This is Bruce, and what's frustrating with it is Bruce Timm as well, wasn't it? Was involved with it, I believe, as well from Batman the Animated Series. Yeah, money. And if you look at the image there, and I'll point it out again. Do you notice that they've gone for Nicholson's Joker style?
Oh yeah.
All right. Yeah. I don't care about this.
So they'll probably make him gay or something like that now.
Don't care about it. Don't care
same.
about it.
So we're all on the same page on that one then. So we're not interested in that one at all. Next one, guys, to talk about is Michael Jackson movie crosses $1 billion worldwide.
You've seen this, Ian. I haven't watched this.
Yeah,
I loved it. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, it's worth your time. It's really, I mean, it obviously doesn't delve into the things that he was accused of and stuff like that. That's neither here or there. The reason why they didn't, because they didn't have the rights to do it. They did shoot it, but it's something to do with some law, and so they had to reshoot again. So they stop at bad. So they start from his career, and then they stop at bad. Honestly, the film is really well performed by every actor in it. Every actor brings that A game, especially the guy who plays Michael Jackson's dad. Can't remember his real name, but he's really good in it. And the guy who plays Michael Jackson's amazing as well. This film is worth time.
Is his nephew, isn't it? That plays Michael Jackson.
Yeah, you've got to see this in the cinema. You cannot see this on TV. It's pointless.
I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it guys. This is probably one of my favorite movies in quite some time. Again, it's my childhood. I adore it, but it was so well done, and just the music to it. I love when they did that brief recreation of Thriller. That was superb. I loved it on the original Street. It was really good, and I know they're looking at doing a trilogy, aren't they now? And they certainly will now. It's crossed $1 billion.
But there's no way they could avoid the controversy though in the second one. They've got to address that.
I have read apparently that their plan is to do that because the controversy kind of more kicked in after Bad. You know, it started coming in. You know, again, correct me if I'm wrong, everyone, but I think in the 80s it was okay. It was only when you got to the early 90s when they started calling him like Wacko Jacko. You know, before that he was Michael Jackson, but then it was the 90s onwards where the allegations came out. So I think they are going to address it. I think they've said it's like the trilogy.
Do you know, I saw something today. It was a video, and I can't remember where I saw it, but it was this woman being interviewed, and she was friends with Prince, and she said that Michael Jackson came to Prince and that song Bad, and he said, "Okay, you know, do you want to help? You know, do this, whatever, just write it." And so Prince played it, right? Obviously, Michael Jackson wasn't present, and the first line is "Your butt is mine." And Prince was like, "What the fuck is this? Your butt is mine." And he's like, "This is ridiculous," you know. Anyway, so cut long story short, Prince reworked it. And according to the woman, it was a really good version. It's much better than what Jackson had put out. But they had a bigger disagreement. And Prince just, when he was in the engineer room, he just pressed the switch and deleted it all. Completely deleted his version. So no one can hear it. So there you go. Lots of controversy. You know, there's more to Michael Jackson's story than we think. More to Michael Jackson's story than we've seen. The press has expressed. You know what I mean? And we knew he had a feud with Prince. There was that. I don't know what award show it was when Prince was playing. And Michael Jackson was in the front row, and he comes off the stage and he comes right up to Michael Jackson and plays the guitar right in front of his face. And that was a live show. And what they were saying was that Prince was to say, you know, I'm the king of pop. You're not. Do you know what I mean? You're just a fake, you know, and he just went back on the stage and stuff like that. So there's loads of other stories to be told there. And if the filmmakers are clever, they will include those stories, you know, but they probably won't. Yeah.
It'd be, I mean, it'd be good if they did for authenticity.
Well,
I sometimes you think to yourself, I know they're on about doing a trilogy, and you don't want it to be one of these where they do so many of them, it just burns itself out. You know, I really enjoyed this first movie. I just don't want too many of them, you know, just squeezing that cash cow to try and get more money in.
Well, they just have to try and be as honest as possible, because even though the Queen film was quite enjoyable, actually it was really badly made, but it was quite enjoyable. They didn't tell you the full story of Freddie Mercury. I mean, you should listen to some of the interviews. You know, listen to the guy who was meant to play him, but Ray Marek took over. Who's the guy who played Borat? Who was meant to be doing him? Yeah, and you should see some of the interviews and stuff. He was saying, you know, there's loads of things that should have been in the movie that wasn't. But you can't blame them though. But Queen's trying to protect the IP of Queen, aren't they? They don't want to hear about midgets with cocaine on their heads wandering around in parties and stuff like that, do they? Which is true.
I want to hear about it.
Well, there you go. But they didn't want that in the film, did they? So there you go. You know.
Yeah. Again, it was just nice to have a film that I could sit down and enjoy. That wasn't, like someone said in the chat, wasn't woke. You know, I could just enjoy it and just enjoy a good movie for the first time in a while, and that's what we need. But are you going to watch this one, Swappers?
Eventually, I think. Yeah. Again, it's not really my cup of tea, even though I did really enjoy Michael Jackson as a kid. Up to a point, anyway.
You enjoyed them as you were a kid. Oh no, what are you saying there?
Yeah,
you
can't travel to the US a lot, swappers. Or
you can't even like make innocent statements like that anymore.
I know.
Everything's loaded these days, you know. But yeah, I only had one album of his actually. I had Bad, and I never bought any of his previous albums. So I just whatever I heard, it was just heard on the radio and saw on TV whenever they played his videos on TV and stuff. And I did, for the most part, like his stuff, especially Beat It. My God, that was awesome. And I thought I really, really loved the album Bad, but I was never like a mega fan or anything like that. So this film's not really that high on my list of priorities. I probably will watch it when it comes available on streaming. But again, I'm sort of more of a sci-fi fantasy action kind of guy, and this isn't really my priority at the moment. I'm so busy at the moment. Whatever time I get it's all taken up by writing and recording and stuff, and I very, very, very rarely ever get a chance to watch a movie, and it has to be a super good one for me to sit down and give it my time. I'm not saying this film isn't, it's just not in my specific wheelhouse of what I like to watch. So probably will watch it, get a few people together and probably a family movie and watch it and probably enjoy it. But at the moment, as far as I go, it's not something I'd go to the cinema to watch, make a point of traveling on my own to sit down and, unless I had a review channel on YouTube or something and I was a professional reviewer, then, then I would. But as it stands at the moment, not really, no. I'll sort of see it somewhere down the line.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to ask you guys, is there anything you're watching at the moment, like shows or movies that you're back into or you've picked up on, because I haven't caught up with you for a while. So I was just wondering if you guys are into any shows or movies at the moment.
I'll let Ian go first because there's a few.
No, don't go first.
Do you want to sort of look back and try and find out yourself? Well, Spider Noir I thought was really good, even though when you look at it with a new set of eyes, when you go back and look at it again, the DEI is in there, unfortunately, and it does take the shine off it. But I was just glad to see something where it didn't force it in your face, and that the main character was allowed to be the main character, and there was a good amount of intrigue there. It was very stylish, and I thought it was entertaining, even though Hollywood's being Hollywood. So there was that, and that's one I would recommend, but just bear in mind that the message is in there, sadly. I'm just trying to think if there was anything else. I've been watching a lot of old stuff.
Same here.
From the 80s and from the 90s as well. I've started going back through Ulysses 31 again because it's such a great series. It's such a beautiful series. Everything about it. Yeah, the production design, the music, the score, the characters, the animation, and the writing, just literally out of this world. One of the most amazing cartoons I ever saw as a kid, and one that I can still enjoy as an adult as well. Just as much as I did when I was a kid. Just beautiful in every respect. And I was going on about this for ages, when months and months and months back on Brown's channel. And some of the regulars in the chat were having a go at me, and they said, I sat down and watched Ulysses 30 when it was free on YouTube. I watched it, and it was crap. It's like, well, you're watching it with adult eyes and your cynical adult brain. You need to go back to with kind of wide-eyed innocence of a 14-year-old.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's just beautiful. As far as children's entertainment goes, it can be, like Batman the animated series, can be enjoyed by adults. It's a retelling of the Odyssey. What is there not to love about it? They've simplified it and I say kidified it, but they've made it a bit more accessible for children. That should not reduce its quality in any aspect whatsoever. The original writing is timeless, and it's just done something new with it. And when you do something new with it, you have to do the original justice. And they did something ridiculously new with it, flipped it on its head almost, but still remained the spirit of the original and did it so beautifully. Absolutely incredible. Great. I can't believe it was the mega success that it should have been in the 80s, because it wasn't marketed in the right way. I think if it was, it would have been a super huge hit, and it would be still massive today. But there's always the opportunity to go back and re-experience it, especially the fact that it's free on YouTube and it's been remastered as well. So can't complain about that.
I think this is, I rank this in the same league as I do Thundercats.
Yeah,
to be honest with you,
absolutely.
I really do. I think this is strong right from the first moment to the last moment this season, and it is really good. And do you know what? It was at a time as well where I had this to watch, but then also I had Mysterious Cities of Gold as well, which was a great animation, really good intro, great stories. It just great times as a kid. And again, I don't think kids get that level of entertainment that we did these days.
It's just not there at all, is it? It's like they don't really care.
Dungeons and Dragons, that was superb.
That was great. And the animation quality as well. What do we get these days? It's that horrible CalArts, like simplistic style that looks like it's been animated by 10-year-olds. It's just awful. And there's stupid meta humor, and they put the message in there as well on top of all that. We got some amazingly beautiful cartoons in the 80s and also 90s, like, Batman animated series, Batman Beyond. The remake, like someone just said, I think it was Dalek Shalom said, Thundercats 2011 remake, absolutely fantastic version of the original Thundercats. I don't think the animation was as good, but the story, the reimagining of it was, take my hat off to a man, absolutely amazing. I love it when they do that and they add kind of modern day sensibilities to it to create a story first and a franchise second, whereas the original was a cartoon made to sell the toys, like Masters of the Universe was, like Transformers, whereas the remake show was reimagined with a really intelligent thought behind it, with a really great story. Same goes for the Masters of the Universe cartoon that came out in the early 2000s as well, which was
that's great,
absolutely amazing. My God, I can't believe that was big. That should have been huge. That the fight sequences in it were rotoscoped. They actually filmed real people having hand-to-hand fights, with kickboxing and mixed martial arts and all this kind of stuff, and they drew over the top of them to make sure they were getting all of the actual martial arts moves right. That kind of attention to detail is off the charts, and kids these days just don't have anything like that where you get really passionate storytellers and animators making stuff that really want to be timeless and enjoyed in 20, 30, 40 years time. When these kids are adults and they want to go back and revisit it, they can see it in a new way, like we did with Star Wars. Kids with Star Wars, we watched it, we thought, wow, spaceships, explosions, magic, all that kind of stuff, lightsabers. And then as an adult, there's so much more to it than that you can keep watching it and keep enjoying it and never get tired of it. And kudos for the people making these things that want to put that level of love and passion behind it. Whereas these days, everything's just disposable crap that no one cares about. They're just shoving it out there, expecting kids to like it. It's kind of the iPad generation where just kids are just sitting there brainwashed by flashy images and stuff. No one cares.
Well, kids are different today, aren't they? I mean, you've got to put it in perspective. When we were younger, things were different. When we didn't have smartphones, we didn't have the internet. When Ulysses was on, we watched it because coming from school, or whether it be Saturday, whether it be in the evening, that was the thing for us. We'd come home from school, grab something from the fridge, turn the TV on, and you had all the stuff from the BBC, Grange Hill, and stuff like that. So it's very different. And also, because we're a lot older, we could appreciate things like that. And we're from the generation that we had patience. We could watch a show like that. We could watch something like Grange Hill from start to finish. Kids these days, they're not like us. They will not like us at all. That's why somebody will say to you, this was rubbish. That's why, depending on how old they are, of course. I don't know.
True. Yeah, that's true.
Sorry, the last thing I saw was Hawaii Five-0, would you believe? Oh no, I was just looking on Netflix, was the last thing I saw, and it was the remake as well. And it was season 1, and season 1's full of testosterone. I don't know if you ever watched the remake. It really is. It has action most of the episode was action. Do you know what I mean? And so, and also, as I said, that's I look for action now to watch on TV or anything that I'm watching, any film that I'm watching. Have you not noticed that the good films are you have to pay for them now? I wanted to watch Die Hard. I wanted to watch Die Hard 2 again on Amazon, and it was like a little, the little suitcase with the thing, and he's like, you have to pay for it. I'm like, for fuck's sake, I'm paying for Amazon. Annoying. I have to pay to watch films as well. It's ridiculous, Anyway,
support physical media, everybody. Support it.
Having said that, right, I've got a USB drive plugged into my computer with loads of stuff on it, ready to watch when I've bloody got time. I say when. Probably in my last 5 years of life will I get a chance to sit down and like watch anything. But I've queued them all up on as recommendations from everyone. I've queued them all up on these USB drive, and then I can just plug that into on TV and just sit there and binge. And I'll just read out a few of the things I've got ready to watch. And there's probably a lot of people out there that have seen all these, and that have been on TV and in the movies in the intervening time when we haven't had the show going, John. The last few months.
Yeah.
That we haven't had a chance to cover, but there's a lot of things here that I just want to mention that I will get around to watching. And people will probably watch them and sort of say, yes, that was good or whatever. But there's a lot of things in here that people might not know as well. But there was I still haven't seen the Avatar movies, so I've got those ready to watch, even though they're not the greatest, but still they're ready to watch. Backrooms as well, I haven't seen, but I've heard good things about it. Even though I've enjoyed watching the Backrooms videos that have been on the internet over the last 5 years, that kind of are really creepy and stuff, and nothing happens in them. People just wander around these rooms, and so occasionally you might get something scary happening and stuff. They're really entertaining, and they're like a new form of entertainment. It's bizarre. So I'm intrigued by the Backrooms movie. I will get around to watching that, and I thought it was good, kind of interesting to make that into a film, as flawed as it may be as far as regular movies go, but that's one of the ones on my list. I have a screener of Bad Day, right, ready to watch.
Just seriously, just watch it on my channel, the Rebecca Gold channel, because it's the version that was released wasn't the proper version. The version on my channel is the proper version. So if you ever want to watch, if you ever watch it, just watch it on my channel.
But it's on my USB drive just to remind me to watch it.
Right, I gotcha.
I've got an animated single episode or animated feature, not like a huge movie, but it's called Blade Runner Blackout 2022, and it's like a sort of an anime style Blade Runner story, which looked really, really good from a clip I saw of it. So I downloaded that ready to watch. If no one's seen that, I suggest checking that one out. Really stylish, looks great, and I don't know if it's woke either, because it was done.
What's it called?
A few years back now. Blade Runner Blackout, and it was made in 2022, so it could be worth checking out.
Right.
There's a few horror films on here as well, like Cast a Deadly Spell, which I've never seen, which is really old. That was 1991. Citizen Vigilante, which was just a couple of months ago.
Yeah, they're trying to ban it, aren't they, at the moment?
They are, you're right. And even though I think that's just like, I think that's government propaganda, that movie, I still want to see it because I want to have a proper broad opinion of it without just getting other people's accounts of that film. So I will watch it, even though I know the message behind it. There's a movie called Crimes of the Future as well, which I see loads of clips on Instagram of films that come up that look really interesting that I've completely missed or passed me by. And I think, great, I'll grab that, and I go online and get a copy of it. So there was that one. A film called Der Tiger as well, which I think is a foreign movie about something to do with tanks or something like that, which I think is supposed to be really good. Fackham Hall.
Yeah, I've got that to watch. Yeah.
So I've seen the first half an hour of it, and it was really, really funny, genuinely really funny.
That's
and I
good.
went in it really cynically. Sat down, started watching it really cynically, thinking like, yeah, come on, this has got Jimmy Carr in it, and I know how woke that guy is. You're gonna have to do your worst to try and make me laugh. And by about 15-minute point, I was really laughing. There's some clever humor in there. So I saw half an hour of it, and I've got the rest to watch yet. So I did enjoy that. So that's definitely on the list. There is I Swear, which was that movie that got, was it a BAFTA or an Oscar? That was
yeah.
That's on Netflix.
Tried to cancel it, didn't they?
Yeah,
they went after him. Yeah,
the guy with Tourette's. Yeah. There's a movie called Infinity Pool as well, which is supposed to be like a real sort of trippy movie, which is a very controversial film. Yeah, it's borderline naughtiness in that movie. So but I have been advised to watch it just for the message that the director and the writer are trying to get across to the audience about what's going on in the world behind the scenes in Hollywood, etc., etc. A bit in the same respect as Eyes Wide Shut, that kind of thing. There's a movie called Iron Lung as well, which I don't know anything about, but it's in the list. There's obviously, I've got Michael. It's sat here ready for me to watch. Obsession as well, which I know nothing about. All I know is
really good
horror movie.
Watch that one when you get a chance. Watch that one. That's really good. I recommend it.
That's the one 100%. That's the one that beat the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, isn't it?
Yep. Rightly so.
Low budget.
So. Yeah. There's one called Out of Shadows as well, which I'm not sure what that is. I can't remember what, but I got a copy of it because it looked great. Project Hail Mary, which I still haven't seen.
Yeah, still got to watch that. The book is fantastic. I'm really looking
It's
forward
all
to
right.
it.
It's
Yeah.
all
So I will
right.
watch it. I mean, it's a sci-fi movie, so I'm in already.
Mm.
Return. You couldn't believe I've never seen Return to Oz. So
Have you not?
No, and I've been told how dark and scary it is. So I thought,
Scared
It is.
me as a kid, mate. Scared me as a kid.
I'm on board with that
Yeah.
one. Yeah. So I never watched it originally. That's probably why I never watched it, because I was too young to kind of, enjoy it. Because the original Wizard
Very
of Oz
dark.
was a family movie, and this is very dark. So I probably skipped it as a kid,
Very
but as an
dark.
adult, I want to see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Return from Witch Mountain.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right,
no,
the
well,
original.
have you
The
seen the
original.
first one?
I've watched
seen
the
the first
first one on your recommendation at Christmas, and I loved it. Right,
Yeah.
so I was
The
seeing
Rock one.
I was seeing it through the eyes of a 7-year-old. Like, I
Yeah.
really kind of saw it as if I would have seen it as if I was a little kid. So I can't not. And when I found out it was a sequel, I thought, I've got to watch it. I've got to get that.
It's
so
all right.
I don't care.
all right.
I thought those kids in that first one were like the most adorable kids I've ever seen.
They
in my
were.
entire life.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna watch the second one definitely. Slaughterhouse Rules, which I've heard is really good. A movie called Spotlight. Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan director's cut. Right, which
Hey,
I really
you've
wanna
not
watch.
seen it? Oh,
I've
you
not
got
seen
that.
it. I've not seen it. And I
Blimey,
will
man.
watch it. Yeah.
Really good.
A movie called The Big Four. Anyone heard of that one? That's in the list.
No,
as
not
well.
heard of that, mate.
The Black Phone is supposed to be. I got
Yes.
recommended.
Good stuff. Good
Yeah.
stuff.
Now this is a horror movie with Jeffrey Combs in it. Played a load of roles in. He was in Reanimator and From Beyond.
Yeah.
Star Trek.
Starred loads of roles in Star Trek. Yeah, called The Dunwich Horror, 1970. Which is he plays H.P. Lovecraft, and
does he?
Basically, he's kind of this fictional story about H.P. Lovecraft encountering all these beasties. And that inspire his writing, and it's a bit sort of Evil Dead, a bit kind of Resident Evil, but set. I think it was made in like the 90s or early 90s or something. So it's practical effects and stuff. And I saw a clip of it years and years back, and I thought, wow, this looks great, and it's Jeffrey Combs as well. So I grabbed a copy of that one as soon as I saw it. I really want to watch that. A movie called The Empty Man. I know nothing about it at all,
Don't
but
know that
one.
I got it recommended to me. That's in the list. The Furious, which was a recent movie, I think this year. Yeah. That was highly recommended as well. That's 2026. Lego Batman movie, which I still haven't seen, and I've heard really good things about it. And I love the Lego movie. I love the first Lego movie. Haven't seen the second one. So I haven't seen Lego Batman. And it was Vex Electronica that told me to watch Lego Batman movie. So I'm on board. If she recommends it, then I know it's good. An old 1980s video nasty called The Stuff, which a lot of people might remember.
I've heard of that.
Yeah.
No, I've not heard of it, guys.
I haven't seen it though.
It's one of those like so bad it's good kind of like movies with like terrible practical effects in it, but I love all that kind of schlocky stuff, so that's in the list. I've got to watch that as well. Super Mario Galaxy movie, which is the latest Super Mario. I've really enjoyed the first one. I enjoyed the
first. Not seen the second one.
Haven't seen it. I've heard not great things about the second one, but it's there in the list ready for me to watch. Maybe I'll enjoy it because I like the first one. Another kind of conspiracy laden movie when I'm really into that kind of thing called Under the Silver Lake with Andrew Garfield in it, which I was told was really good, really sort of smart writing in that film. And Weapons from last year as well. So that's
heard that's good.
That's my backlog.
Right.
That's my backlog ready to go. Yeah, until I get loads more to pile on top of it. Yeah.
By the time you get to all of them, you'll be like 93 or something.
Exactly, I know, that's right. I'll have to maybe if I break my leg or something and I can't go anywhere or do anything, then I'm gonna just stuck in front of the TV. That's not. I'm not saying to the universe to break my leg. I don't mean don't do anything like that to me. I don't want my leg broken, but if something happened to me where I was stuck indoors, if I had another lockdown, for instance, maybe.
I'm doing Star Trek Deep Space Nine again at the moment, which
Amazing.
I adore.
Yeah.
Season 6 I'm on, and I've just literally done In the Pale Moonlight, which is just Cisco bringing the Romulans into the war and effectively killing a Romulan senator.
Wow.
Just to get them in the war, and it is so good. Garak and it's great stuff. Really is.
John, what's that episode called in Next Generation when it had Frasier in it, and he only turns up at the ending?
The one with the other Federation ship that they keep doing a time loop.
Yeah,
that was a great episode. That one. It was a
I forget
temporal.
the name of it.
Yeah,
It was a good episode.
Is it Cause and Effect? I think it was.
Yeah,
I think it's called Cause and Effect. Yeah, they keep looping it, and then they finally realise it's the pips. The pips on his collar telling him to depressurize the shuttle bay, not use the tractor beam, so they don't impact each other.
But when it ended, I wanted to see more. Did you not feel that way?
Oh yeah,
I was like, can I not see more? And then nothing.
Was that the episode where there were two Picards and one came back in time to tell the other Picard?
That's the other one.
That's the season 2 one. Yeah, where he shoots his other version in the end to stop it, and they go through to break.
That was another very clever one. Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah, and again, that was early when people weren't rating Next Gen, but there were some decent episodes in season 2 of Next Gen.
There was,
there was
just not enough.
There was. Do you remember that episode where somebody ate their comm badge? Do you remember that episode?
Yeah, I do. Flipping Star Trek Academy, you know. It's like, do you know what? Someone mentioned to me the other day, and they were clearly trying to wind me up because they brought up Doctor Who, and I went, I don't want to talk about Doctor Who, and they went, well, that's okay. Let's change the subject. Let's talk about Star Trek Academy.
Oh no!
I went, right,
that's even worse.
Yeah, I said, yeah, exactly, yeah. But do you know, this is the thing I've said to people. Do you know what? Star Trek Academy is so bad, and Doctor Who is so bad. I could actually see Ncuti Gatwa turning up in the TARDIS on the Academy set because they're both that bad, and awful. You know. It still gets me angry. I was watching Deep Space Nine the other day, and I watched the episode where they clearly establish that Jem Hadar don't have sex. There's no female Jem Hadar. They hatch, and yet suddenly Kurtzman's given us thousands of years again a Klingon Jem Hadar hybrid female, and I'm like, he's just playing with me deliberately. He's looking at me and doing it to wind me up. Now that's why he's doing it.
That's pretty much all of Kurtzman Trek, is just to wind up the fans who genuinely like it and love it. It's like Rian Johnson did exactly the same thing with Star Wars. He deliberately, every decision he made was to wind audiences up. That's all it was for. And what annoys me is there's people out there that genuinely enjoy it, and they can't see that it's just put out there to annoy people, and they for some reason enjoy it, and then they defend it. That's what really annoys me about it.
Well, it's only the blue people that's defending it. Come on, blue-haired people that's defending it. It's not. I don't know any normie that's watched it. To tell you the truth,
no.
And again, I did the review of Academy, and I went all the way through that, and that was hard work. I have to be honest, that was tough. But I think going back to what you said, Ian, about you wanted to see more of that character at the end of Cause and Effect. That was at a time when I was like, okay, give me a prequel series with a ship commanded by, Kelsey Grammer. I'm all in for that. Now I'm tired of prequel series and what they've done with it. I mean, Strange New Worlds latest season is just aired, isn't it? And I've got that to check out, but that's been awful.
I'll tell you what I'll tell you what these crimes are. Right, the first crime is not giving Sulu his own TV show. As captain of the Excelsior.
And that was close, wasn't it?
Right, yeah. Another crime, not giving Paul McGann his own Doctor Who series, or giving him a 100%. Film. Another crime. Star Wars, just the whole thing, the whole sequels, rubbish. Third crime. So there are crimes everywhere. It's just they haven't been arrested for it. That's all. These people have been arrested for it.
And again, we've said it before. I never thought I'd see a time where all of these franchises would literally be, scorched earth, destroyed. They are. I won't go as far as to say they are destroyed beyond repair. There are possibilities of repairing them, but you've got to have the sheer will high up to do what needs to be done to fix them.
Yeah.
Again, what I find strange about it, and I'll get your takes on this, guys. When they weren't as big as they are now, where the corporations were pushing them left, right, and center, and the diversity and all that, they accepted people, who were outsiders. They were bullied in the schoolyard, you know, and all of that, you know, that who love these shows. You know, you used to get laughed at because you were a Star Trek fan, you know. Now it's so badly damaged now that they don't even, you know, people just see it and they just turn off from it straight away. It's gone far beyond how it used to be, where people go, "Oh, you're a sci-fi geek." Now it's just not even that anymore, is it? It's just, that's crap.
Yeah.
Why would I watch that?
Yeah, but you could say that all these franchises have been destroyed, etc., or scorched earth, or they've ruined it, they've ruined my childhood, they've ruined this. I can't enjoy anything anymore. It's like, it's all a state of mind, because there might as well, because all these things are so bad. Doctor Who, you know, Star Trek, Star Wars, all these things are just so terrible that they're not worth watching. Marvel, whatever, you can just easily pretend that they don't exist, that nothing was ever made after a certain point, and you've still got the originals. You know, these things are so bad they might as well not exist. So this is why I don't watch them anymore. This is why I don't watch the new Star Wars stuff. This is why I don't watch Star Trek or anything like that. And it's like, if I don't watch it, it can't exist to me. And I've still got my memory of the originals is always going to be there. It's never going to go away, and I'll always be able to go back and watch them. And it's not like they've you know, they've got back the original creative crew and teams and everything like that, and created direct continuations of our stuff, and then deliberately ruined it in that respect. So you literally can't enjoy. There was a cutoff point where the old stuff existed, then the new stuff existed, and you can see it clearly. And it's like, oh, nothing existed before these people bought it out and changed it. You know, it ended at that point. So therefore, I don't have to watch any of the new stuff. Therefore, it's not dead to me. It's not ruined to me. I'll always love it. It'll always be there for me. And if I really want, you know, I can make my own stuff up, which I'm doing. You know, that's the only way we're ever going to get decent entertainment again now with these franchises, is if the passionate, articulate and intelligent fans of the world out there, and there are many of them, make their own stuff. The fans are doing the best work. The fans are doing the best writing. Hollywood is not willing to do this. They just want to push the message in everything. The only way we're going to get decent entertainment now is by the fans doing it. And by God, the people out there are doing it, and it's amazing. I've seen it.
Yeah, well, it is 100%.
Backrooms and Obsession are made by two YouTubers, and they're really successful. So yeah, you're absolutely right. That's what's going on. But Hollywood's so stubborn. All they'll do is what they'll do. They'll just try keep pushing this, because the end game for them is that society bends to their will, and that's their end game. So, well,
you know, again, example of Doctor Who. You know, I watching the Sense-Sphere, you know, regularly, and I've had debates with people on the Sense-Sphere talking about Doctor Who, and you know, a lot of people on there, you know, and in the audience, they're pushing for, right, Doctor Who coming back, but hard reboot. And I'm against it completely, because my view is, I don't want, if it ever came back by sensible people, I don't want all of that 60 plus years of history being wiped out because of the horrible behavior of RTD and Chibnall. I want someone to retcon it and go, right, okay, bing, we've flung off Jodie Whittaker and we've flung off Gatwa. That's it. I'm never going to get that in the current climate. That's not going to happen. But people said to me, someone said to me in the audience, they said, oh, you know, well, if you don't like it, why don't you clear off? Because, you know, you're not a fan. And I was like, well, sorry, I've been a fan all my whole life. I've got the right to say how passionate I am about what's been done to it. And I said, do you know what? Why I stopped buying merchandise? I always used to get the calendar for Christmas off my parents. You know, it was great. But I couldn't have a Jodie Whittaker or a Gatwa looking back at me for a whole month on the wall. I can't do it.
Yeah.
You know,
well, unless you're going to use it, as a dartboard or something. You know, or draw a moustache on them, whatever. But you know, it's exactly the same principle as, say, if you got a favorite restaurant and you love enjoying steak. You know, they serve their steak in no other way anyone else does. You really love the way they do it. And, you know, they treat you as a privileged customer because you're always going in there, you're always spending money, you're always tipping the staff and stuff. And it's a monthly treat. You go for yourself, and they might take your wife in and stuff, your kids or whatever. And it's something to look forward to after a hard month at work and stuff. And it's just one of those things, one of those small pleasures in life that you really enjoy. And you've done it for years and years and years. And then suddenly you walk in one day and the menu's changed and it's been turned to vegan. And you know, and they've got like nut steaks and whatever made from nuts, and you're like, hang on a minute, I don't like this. And then, you know, the blue-haired chef comes out from the kitchen with a side shave, nose ring, and says like, oh, if you don't like it, then clear off. It's like, hang on a minute. I've been here for years and years and years enjoying this. I've given this restaurant loads of my money. I've funded this place or helped fund it. I've helped the staff out. You know, I've told all my friends and family about this. I've got business in for you guys. I'll keep coming back. I'm a repeated customer. I love everything about it. And now you're coming in, changing it and telling me to leave. I've been here and making this place what it is. And now you're telling me to leave. And then everyone leaves. And then the place shuts within two months or whatever. You know, it's exactly the same principle with entertainment, and that's what they're doing to everything we love.
Yeah, and again, you know, Star Wars now. I mean, I had it popped up today. It said Mandalorian and Grogu movie like available now. I couldn't give a stuff. I never thought in my lifetime I wouldn't give a damn about a Star Wars movie ever. Never thought that would happen.
Well, they're wrecking it, aren't they? They're literally wrecking Star Wars because we can't have good things. Look, no. It is. Look, you know what? As I said, people keep having a go at me about this. It is very, very, very evil what they're doing because they did the same thing in World War II when they wanted support from the youth. They had posters up, everything about the Reich and all that nonsense and stuff like that, burning books and all that. And then the youth, they kind of dragged the youth into their stupidity. And so this is what Hollywood is trying to do. But the problem with Hollywood is that they think they're the good guys. They literally are convinced what they're doing is good. And it can't be good. You can't look at I keep calling her Ellen Page. Look at her
Elliot.
Or him or whatever. Yeah. She's literally cut stuff off her. It's horrible. It's disgusting. It's like, why would anyone do that to themselves? This is the horrible cancer that's driving Hollywood. It's just all this stuff is not right. It really isn't. If you have a common sense in your head, you'll see it's not right. None of it.
I mean, again, you know, they're trying to do, the current government in the UK, they're trying to push, you know, puberty blockers on
in
the NHS to test them on kids. And it's like, I foresee a time, whether it's 10 years or 20 years, where so many lawsuits are going to be carried out on the people that did this to these kids, the people that pushed it, and the politicians that actually enabled it when it comes out. I think that they shouldn't be have immunity from this. They should be prosecuted as well, because you know, I agree with you, Ian. It's sinister what's going on. It really is.
It is. And also, right, if a kid says to you, look, I think I'm a and it's a male, and a kid says to you, I think I'm a female. It's like saying, you know what, I think I'm an astronaut. Do you know what I mean? Because they're only 7, 5, 6, 7. You know what I mean? What are you going to do? Put them in a rocket and send them to the moon or something? This is the same thing. It doesn't mean anything. Kids don't know what they want. They don't know who they are at that age. And for parents to actually take them and get their bits cut off and all that nonsense, I think it's horrible. It's a crime.
I spent 3 years
in jail.
I spent 3 years from 5 years old telling everyone I was Luke Skywalker.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So, the kids they're still trying to decide who and what they are for a long time. And these people know this, and they see them as being extremely impressionable and easily manipulable. And they're doing it through entertainment. So, and through Hollywood and through messaging and through games, through all this kind of stuff, through celebrities, through music. So everything these kids see when they're glued to their iPads, it's all going in there, it's all registering, and it's all getting them very, very early where their brains are still wiring up. And we're going to see very, very bizarre, confused and messed up society in 10, 20 years time when they all become adults.
Yeah. And you're right. It's all coordinated 100%. And I remember ages back, Ian, we talked about it on a show, and we both said that this woke era was not going away. It was staying. It was just going to be rebadged and rebranded. And that's exactly what they're doing, Trump getting into office, wasn't going to change anything. It was just they were going to go into the shadows until he was out of office. That's what they're doing. So
but it's the entertainment.
Just enjoy the early stuff.
Yeah, it's the entertainment that it's destroying. I mean, obviously, I'm a huge cinema fan and stuff, you know. And even when I went to see, you know, the Odyssey, there were adverts on there that just fucking annoyed me. Do you know what I mean? Adverts with you know, I don't know, like an advert for a bank or something like that, and you see couples holding hands. I don't mind a mixed race couple. Then you see, I don't know, it doesn't feel right. None of it feels natural. Do you know, none of it. Do you know what I mean? It's
just have to go back and watch the ad. Go back and watch the edits, the videos on YouTube, and I love doing this occasionally of ads from the 70s and 80s and even 90s, where there's like an hour-long compilation of all the ads from back then. And you look at it and go, my God, what a different time we lived in. There was no messaging whatsoever. It was just everything. The mission of every advert was to also not only to sell something, but entertain at the same time, to maintain someone's attention and to make the brand look favorable to the prospective customer. And they wanted to identify with the native population of this country, which was predominantly white, admittedly, you know, and they did it and they engaged, they made money. This is why the Western society was so prosperous during that time, is because they knew how to sell, they knew how to do business back then and how to advertise and how to present their products. And these days it's just all about pushing agendas.
Do you know there was this famous, I'm not even going to say his name, famous YouTuber that I was watching a show, and I'm not going to tell you what show I was watching. And they were talking about the Odyssey. And he said, and they were talking about, you know, the race swapping and all that. He said, look, if you go back, you know, 50 years, you had Charlton Heston playing I can't remember what film it was. Yeah, it was a Mexican or whatever. You had Ricky Rooney playing a Chinese guy in Breakfast at Tiffany's and stuff like that. And he said, you know, it's you know, the race swapping doesn't really mean anything today, whatever, because they did it, you know, if they did it then. But it doesn't occur to him like it was wrong then and it's wrong now. So why are you defending the Odyssey for race swapping? Do you know what I mean? It's like the point he was trying to make was, you know, they did it then, you know, and it was wrong. So
two wrongs don't make a right.
What kind of point are you making here? Do you know what I mean? Both of them are wrong. We have to be better.
That's self-sabotaging, pointing that out, isn't it? Because they're saying, yeah, but you know, Hollywood did it years ago with Charlton Heston playing. So you admit that it's wrong, and the swapping is in there. Then, so you're saying that that's all happening, yes? And then they'll just freeze up and go,
No, but he was saying, what's what's wrong with it now? Do you know what I mean? They did it in the past. It's like, that's the whole point. It was wrong in the past. Exactly. Now it's wrong now. Do you know? It's like, but the thing, what are you talking about here? You know,
the thing is, I see as well is that, you know, it's also the caliber of writing, because, you know, going back through DS9, there's diverse stories in Star Trek Deep Space Nine, but you know what? They're well written. They don't take me out of it. I enjoy them. There was, you know, there's Only a Paper Moon, the one where Cisco is in dreams he's in the 50s as a storyteller.
Yeah,
you know, and it's all about race, and it's so well done. It really is strong. You have Jadzia Dax in DS9, who ends up having a lesbian relationship with her lover. You have Quark, who's turned into a female Ferengi. These are entertaining things that don't take you out of it, because you give a damn about the characters, they're engaging, and it's well written stuff. But what I hate about these writers who are all on that woke diversity crusade, they make it sound like it's never been done before, but it was done 25 years ago. You know?
Exactly. Yeah, they're trying to be pioneers and pushing the envelope, etc. You know, but they're trying to gaslight everyone into thinking they're the ones that thought of it. That it's their idea. But no. It's like political activism. This was all done decades and decades and decades ago. Racism was actually ended, you know, by the 90s, and it's only certain the government and entertainment and certain propaganda that tried to keep it alive and tried to keep everyone hating each other. And sadly, today, with impressionable people as they are in colleges and universities, etc., that are buying the fact that, you know, people should be racist, Whereas before all that, everyone was getting along pretty much 100% okay.
You had a pocket of idiots. You had a pocket of idiots, but other than that, I think we'd got there, or we were pretty close to being maxed out on that.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
I'll say something like you said about DS9 as well. The writing went absolutely off the charts great. It was on the Next Generation as well, but I think DS9 was absolutely at its writing pinnacle with Star Trek was at its writing pinnacle with DS9, especially the last 4 or 5 seasons. My God, was it
the Dominion War is so good,
amazing.
And again,
well done. Just that episode with, I mean, like a bottle episode really, with Cisco getting trapped inside the machine, inside that technology, and he only appears once every like 10 years or whatever it was.
To his son.
I was in tears at the end of the episode. It moved me so much that I thought there's no shows out there that do that anymore, that really speak to your soul in that way. And I used to come away from episodes of Star Trek, DS9, and even some with Voyager as well. And Voyager's probably, you know, the lesser Star Trek relative, but you know, still some interesting writing going on there. I used to come away from every episode and just think to myself in awe, thinking, my God,
so good.
Geniuses that wrote that. And I was just thinking, I could never ever be that clever and smart to think of something so nuanced and so world changing, you know.
It was also just quickly, just to finish up before we head off. It was there's a DS9 episode where Worf and Co are imprisoned in a Dominion prison camp, and Worf is in the ring fighting each Jem'Hadar, and it is still one of my favorite episodes because what is it? The Jem'Hadar says at the start, he goes, "Victory is life," and Worf's response is, "Today is a good day to die." And then he howls when he knocks one of them out, and he will not. He's beaten down on the ground, but he will not give up. He won't give him that, and he keeps tapping it. And it's just fantastic stuff. And Garak is a phenomenal character. The trouble is with DS9, I constantly change who my favorite character is because there are so many well-written characters in that show.
It's a good show.
It's that good. Yeah,
it's a good show. It's a really good show.
It really is. So I recommend, if nobody has ever watched it, go back and watch it, because you know that's good Star Trek. That is really good. And you know, again, diversity. I loved having a black captain. You know, he's a badass. He's one of my favorites.
He was just a captain, though. He was just a captain. Same thing with Janeway.
We didn't care.
They were just captains. I didn't care. I liked Voyager. I must admit I haven't watched every episode, but and I liked DS9. I thought DS9 was probably one of the best Star Trek ones. I mean, after Next Generation, I thought, you know, it's one of the best ones personally. So I even liked Enterprise when it was on. So okay.
Yeah, brilliant. But just to wrap up quickly before we head off, I'm going to start with you first, Swappers. So just tell everyone about your channel, Star Wars Retold.
If anyone doesn't already know, who hasn't seen me on here before, because I always mention it somehow. I've got a YouTube channel set up over there on the YouTubes, or here on the YouTubes, which is basically telling a new story from The Force Awakens onwards about the way I think the story should have gone. If you know, there was a decent story group that sat down and worked out a decent plot and where the characters should go logically from The Force Awakens. I thought The Force Awakens was a flawed but interesting movie that could have set the foundation for a really, really great trilogy. And I thought of all the possibilities and implications that could have come from that, and it could have just been superbly enjoyable, especially with what they gave us in that film. And my imagination just worked overtime after seeing that movie, and especially after when we got The Last Jedi and how bad it was, and all of the possibilities, it just went to waste. I thought what we could have had, and I thought I'm not going to let this go. And I was like a dog with a bone. I sat down, I wrote the story. I could not stop writing the story because I had such a massive torrent of ideas. And I thought, well, I mean, that's a pretty good story if I do say so myself. And I've decided to then serialize it as a full cast audio drama, which I think they're doing with Harry Potter now. But it's just me doing all the voices, which don't let that put you off, because I'm bringing out my best inner thespian, my best suppressed actor that I always wanted to be. That could never be. And I'm just using AI to do the voice filters. So the characters sound like the characters. So I don't sound like Daisy Ridley, but it changes my voice to sound like Daisy Ridley. But unfortunately, the software I'm using doesn't do the acting for me, so I have to do all the voice acting for every single character. So every single bit of intonation in the voice, every single bit of emphasis, every single bit of simulated passion that you hear from the characters, that's all me. So, and it's a hell of a lot of work for one person to do, but I'm plowing on with it, pressing on with it. I'm now up to chapter 13, which is imminently going to be released. I'm really enjoying doing it. It's a labor of love. And if anyone is a fan of Star Wars out there that's disappointed with what Disney have given us, I think you may enjoy giving it a listen. It's all in audio. I'm starting to put visuals in some of the episodes now as well, so people can get an idea of certain scenarios and what certain characters look like. But it's something you can listen to while you're out running, taking a walk, driving, doing the washing up, in the shower, whatever you want to do. You can listen to it, and your brain, it will just take you away, and you can do two things at once, which is really good. I've always loved things like that, so I thought this might work in that respect. And also on my YouTube channel, there are I think now 17 what do you call them? Simulated versions of action figures of the main characters in the cast. That I'm uploading as well. So you can go into the community tab, and you can see all of my uploads of all the characters. So if you want to know what the characters look like, you can just go in there, see the action figure versions of them. You've got a picture taken from what would be the movie on the card back, just like they were sold in the 1980s and 70s. And you can see the figure with their weapons, and you can get a great idea of how they look, their personality. And there's a short write-up on each one as well. So yeah, you've got all that to enjoy. And there's 13 chapters ready to go. If no one's dived in yet, now's a great time to do it. I think you really enjoy it. There's hours and hours and hours and hours and hours worth of entertainment there. Hopefully you'll think a really compelling Star Wars story that's going somewhere based on what we got from Star Wars Episode 7, taking those characters forward, making them interesting, not shoving certain characters to the side, not demeaning certain characters, not pushing feminism and messaging and DEI, just a good, solid Star Wars story that finishes and rounds out the sequel trilogy as it should have been. So yeah. That's basically in a nutshell, that's how I can sell it.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah, check it out, everybody, and go to Star Wars Retold and like and subscribe to the channel. It's good stuff, honestly. So yeah, do it. Yeah. So thanks, Swappers, for that.
Thank you.
And then Ian, just to finish off, tell us about. And let's put your details up. We get people liking and subscribing as well. So there you go. Talk about that, Rebecca Gold.
Oh yeah, I've got a Rebecca Gold channel. It started off as a web series, the Rebecca Gold TV show, and I made a feature which I'm going to release at the end of this year. I was meant to release at the beginning of this year, but unfortunately, I've got a lot of festivals that I'm hoping that we'll get into, and so I'm waiting for that. But you can watch it. Look, you can watch my first film, The Killing Zone, which is on there. And you can watch the first season of Rebecca Gold. And I'm going to be making a short, hopefully, next year. So I might be asking people for some money to make it. So just be aware that I'm going to be making an announcement soon. So there you go. That's me. Is
that something in the Rebecca Gold universe, or is that a new scenario?
No, I'll send you the script, Swappers. It's only 20 pages long. It's a short that
Send
I've always wanted
as well.
to make. Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
It's the short I've always wanted to make. I wrote this a long time ago, and I've always updated it. But yeah, it's something I've wanted to make. But anyway, that's me in a nutshell. All right,
that's it. So on this channel, we're back Sunday doing our Stargate SG-1 watch party. I'm also on the Brain Show tomorrow night. That's BRANE, and that's with Brian and his brother Shane, and we have a good laugh talking about the latest entertainment news. So search for that on YouTube and come and join us. It's good fun. And we're all off straight away in a moment. You might have seen the link from Mr. Brown. We're off to his channel to carry on talking about everything. So click on the link that he's put in the live chat, and come over there and join us. But I want to thank everyone for coming back tonight. We've been away for a while, and it's good to see you all. But we will see you next week, and but we'll probably see you on Brown's channel in a few minutes. Yeah, Indeed. Take care all.
Thanks, everybody.
Ta-da!